What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
All Man United fans live in the past.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the weekend extravagant. I don't even remember the name of the show anymore. It's from We Are Soccer. We're here. We're talking soccer. USA's playing Canada currently. They're late in the second half. I'm going to turn my volume off here. I don't even remember the name of the show anymore. It's from We Are Soccer. I don't know where that code is coming from. Give us a second. Hold on. USA's playing Canada currently. They're late in the second half. I'm going to turn my volume off here. There we go. All right. We had some background noise there.
There you go.
All right. Listen, lots to get to. Obviously, Canada and USA playing right now down in Cincinnati. Close handball call there. Thank goodness VAR. The referee took a look, decided there was a push. We've had, 10 to 12 minutes of added time here in the first half. Referee linesman got injured in the first 50 seconds. That's not something you see very often. Then we had several calls of VAR to look at. Just lots to get to. Absolutely lots to get to. That, among other things, AC Milan have a new player. Christian Pulisic has made his way over to Italy. Congratulations to him there. Lots more transfers and rumors. We'll get into the David De Gea United situation. Andre Onana on his way to take De Gea's place. We've got, where is Dest? Serginho Dest going to end up? He's being rumored to be on his way to Premiership. 2 clubs there bidding on him. Brendan Aaronson on his way to the Bundesliga as he joins his younger brother. We've got a lot. We're going to talk about the Women's World Cup for a little bit as well. Before I jump in and introduce the boys at the kids' table, big thank you to our friends at Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. Soccerworld.net online. Visit them. Big thank you to Next Level Training, Aaron Bird and his guys. Listen, their camps are going on right now. My kids are going to be out there at the camps in another 2 weeks. Absolutely some of the best camps you'll get to. Trust me, sign them up. There's still spots available. Big thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing, official beer of We Are Soccer. We appreciate you boys over there at Dog and Pony Show Brewing. We are doing a watch party in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be watching the Women's World Cup. The first game, 9 o'clock Friday. Meet us there. We will we'll have some beers. A big thank you to the Michigan Jags as well. Big fans of our show. We are big fans of theirs. They've got golf outings coming up. Sign up. Golf outings are always fun. Lots of beer, lots of fun. All right, boys. Now I'm going to talk to the guys at the kids' table. Danny and Brooks. Boys, how are we doing over there?
I'm good. I'm good.
Fantastic weekend. I'm not going to do the intro tonight, Brooks.
That's fine. You're fine.
I'm not going to do it tonight.
It's okay.
No,
You're fine. You did it the last week.
Nate gave me crap for doing it last week, so I'm not going to do it tonight.
Always. It's never good enough for Nate. He has such high expectations
You really
that we can never hit because they're so high, and we just can't.
That's the point, though. We just never hit his expectations.
Yeah. It's like when he worked out with them, and he was like, you told us he was using like a lot of weight, and that's just
No one's
Nate.
surprised.
Yeah, we gotta bench what he benches, and that's just not gonna happen. So
That is true.
yes, so
But good weekend overall, boys?
yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I was away.
Yeah, you were in Indiana, right?
Yeah, I was in Indiana for Super Y. Had some good games there, which was which was nice to get out. After a week off. So yeah, good weekend for me. Brooks.
Yeah, Saturday night USL 2 match, Oakland County against Kalamazoo. So that was a good one. And then kind of working on more reports and getting stuff done. And yeah, never ends.
Yeah,
Never ends.
Never ends. All right, boys. Well, as we talked about what's going on today, we're at halftime now of USA versus Canada. This is the quarterfinal of the Gold Cup. This game to me was it's a little bit just all over the place, if I'm being honest. A little bit raggedy. 10 fouls total, 5 on each side. Look, I just looked at the stats, and very surprisingly, USA was 68% of the possession. I did not expect to see that. That didn't seem that way while we were actually watching it. 3 shots and 1 on goal for USA. 2 shots, none on goal for Canada. Corner kicks 3-2. USA lead there. 1 yellow card for Canada there. I don't know. It just scrappy. Scrappy is the way I describe this game. Mihalovic seems to be turning the ball nicely. He's had a couple of nice little runs. Dwan Jones has gotten into the box a couple times, seems to be doing what he does. He's really come a long way and really showing what he can do. I'm excited to see him play more. We will, just so you're aware, once the game comes back on, we will follow along with the game. We can't show it here, but we will follow along. So go ahead, put the game on, but have us on in the background so you can listen to us. We'll comment on the game. We'll be watching it. Don't you worry.
Yep.
But we're going to drop in some other topics. We got lots of other stuff to get to, as we talked about.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we start with the big news that happened this week, right? We can jump into the USA game and Canada game once it gets back. Pulisic to Milan. I said it last week. I'm a little disappointed that he's opted to move out of the Premiership, but I've liked to have seen him to continue to compete in the best league in the world. I wonder if Puma had a little bit to do with this, the owners of AC Milan, who there's an American in there. I'm wondering if this is business more related rather than anything else. It's interesting. Brooks, Danny, your thoughts on Pulisic to AC Milan official now?
You can go first.
Oh, I mean, I like the move for him, right? I think I said that last week. I like the move for him. I don't necessarily disagree with it. We talked about the level of the league, the difference in the league between Serie A and the Premier League. I think it suits him, in a way, stylistically. Technically, I think it suits him. Whereas the Premier League's a lot fast paced, et cetera, et cetera. But here's an interesting point, right? And I was thinking about this today. Unlike Chelsea, who have typically done this for years.
Yep.
Milan doesn't stockpile elite level players only to bench them when they immediately don't have success in the league.
I think every EPL team does that,
Right.
at least the top 4.
So it's by no accident that Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah, who are now world class players who left Chelsea, have become better players by going to those types of teams. And I think the ideal situation for me and Christian Pulisic is that, hopefully he can take a similar route, which can only be good for the US men's national team.
Yeah. I just think with Pulisic, it was just the injuries had been coming along. I mean, he did well with the season with Tuchel. He in that when they won the Champions League, he was
Right.
playing, he was effective. But it's just injury after injury. He had a Dortmund. It came back to haunt him again at Chelsea. The problem is in the EPL, once you get buried in the roster, you get buried. Like it's not like the Bundesliga where Dortmund, Dortmund does have depth and they have young players.
Right.
But I think they're more lenient of like it was an injury, he's still our guy, he's still our plan, that's how we want to play, we're going to use him. EPL, it's just like your Chelsea. It's like, okay, like who's going to step up next? Like Reece James, you going to step up next, or Chilwell, or whoever. They were playing the wing back position, but then Mount that can play out wide as a winger, and there were just like Havertz. I mean, just everyone. There's just depth after depth, and it's just.
The injuries were interesting for me at Chelsea.
Yeah.
He has suffered a lot of injuries, didn't he? He really didn't get a chance to get going there, So,
yeah.
And I like him as a player. I think he's a game changer for the US men's national team. I think, hopefully he can go there and change, grow into a better player, more confident player. And then, hopefully he comes back to the Premier League in a couple of years.
Yeah. I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just finish up. I think the move was smart he made because if he tried to move to another Premier League team, I think that would have been career suicide, in my opinion. I think that would have been a very suicidal move for his career because if it happened again, he would have been gone in a year, and then no team may have wanted him in another league. He may have to come back to MLS.
I'll expand on that. Meaning, if he went to another Premiership team and continued to pick up injuries and fail,
yes,
then it would have been, listen, he can't cut it here.
Exactly.
That's it.
I think he made the right decision.
I agree with that. I just worry about going to the Italian league. It's slower. It's more methodical. I find that a lot of the less creative players succeed there more recently. I don't know why. Again, I also think it's going to be a lot less viewership for him there. I don't get up and I do not watch Serie A that often. I don't get up early in the morning to watch Serie A. I get up early in the morning to watch Premiership, La Liga, and Bundesliga. Serie A isn't really on my radar to get up early and watch and really go out of my way to watch. And I don't even think Christian Pulisic moving to AC Milan is going to put that on my radar.
Really?
Pure honestly.
It's gonna make. I mean, I think they're still on ESPN Plus, so I think I'll still watch that. I mean, I'll watch AC Milan now. I mean, I would if there's nothing on, I'd sometimes throw on the Juventus or some Inter Milan or some big team, but it'll make me want to watch them a little more. To be honest with you, just to see how he does.
Normally, when those games are going on, there are other big games, notably Premiership, La Liga, Bundesliga games going on. So
those leagues,
those leagues trump it for me. You know. Danny, you look like you were gonna say this will entice you.
Those hogwash of leagues.
To be honest with you, there's some really good teams that play in Serie A.
Oh, absolutely.
You got Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan, and you can't discredit that. I mean, AC Milan and Inter Milan were in the Champions League semi-final last year.
Yep.
So
with Inter going on obviously to compete.
Yeah,
in the final.
no, I mean, I think it's a good move for him, and maybe it takes a little bit of the pressure off him a little bit. He just gets back to playing football, what he loves doing. Great player. Goes there and has some success, and I don't think he'll come back to the MLS after AC Milan, but maybe he can go to back to the Premier League, or he can go to Spain or something like that, to a bigger club, because I do think he's got that game-changing ability.
Yeah, I think he does have that game-changing ability. That's what we all like about him. We saw it against Canada. We saw it against Mexico in the Nations League, and he really still does have it. Now, one of the things a lot of people forget about Serie A is they take training a lot more seriously. In the Premiership and in England, you train for 2.5 hours. You're in the film room for an hour or so, and then it's little bits here and there. In the Serie A, Italian teams, they are nonstop training. They train in the morning, they do film session, then they train in the afternoon, then they do more film session. It is a full-time job. Whereas compared to other leagues like Premiership, they half-ass it through training and through the day, trust me. So they are going to have to, AC Milan are going to have to really keep an eye on him, because he has had muscle injuries the last several years, which have hampered him and unfortunately kept him out for several months at a time. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that and how they handle his body if it does start to break down again. It probably is a very good move for him. Me being
It is.
It is a good move for him.
It is a good move for him because he's
that,
going to play all the time.
I would have liked to have seen him play in the Premiership, as I said, at another, maybe just outside of the Big Six.
Mr. EPL's the
best league in the world.
Just makes you the best player.
I mean, it's not that. It's those types of moves have not done well for want to register one right now, Philip Coutinho.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously went to Barca, didn't do very well.
Little older, but yeah.
Didn't do very well there.
Yeah.
And then came back to the Premier League and went into, into Villa and, and he scored a couple of goals, but he didn't do very well there.
Now he's going to Saudi Arabia. Actually, he's been actually training down in Miami.
Have you been to see him, Brooks?
Yeah.
No, I saw a grin
on your face right there.
I saw reports on Twitter.
He needs to let us in on some information there.
Yeah. There have been a few guys down in Miami, I think, that they're trying to get to play with Messi.
No, I mean, Danny, you're right that's probably an example there, but he was also one that when he was in the Premiership the first time succeeded so well. $115 million price tag was put on him, then he moved away. I just want to see the best U.S. soccer player play in the best league, because I watch it so often, and I really want to see him compete at the absolute best level. But the only good thing about him moving is he will get more playing time, and he will go into the Champions League. I don't think he was getting off the bench again at Chelsea.
Correct. What do you define? I always ask people this. What do you define as a successful? So you think the EPL, it was successful in certain ways?
What was successful? His
Pulisic's stint.
No, it wasn't. No? It wasn't super successful.
See, I always talk about people.
No. Coutinho's first stint in the Premiership was unbelievably successful.
Yes.
He went. It was at Liverpool, and then put a price tag of 125 million. I think 123 officially, and then went to Barca and failed. Yeah. But Pulisic coming across from Borussia Dortmund for £57 million. And now being sold officially for just under 24 million. No, that is not successful at all because you just took a big drop, and he's still only 24 years old.
Oh, see, I don't look at how much money it was. I look at like how consistent you were as a player and how much you contributed. And people go like, "Oh, they had a good year and he was okay," and then he had like 2 bad years the next year. For me, it's like I think everyone has I don't know if you guys do a definition that I do. You know, when I see youth players go into second teams and first teams in America, and then college players make the jump. You know, for me, I would consider 2 guys like Dwan and Brandon Bai for New England. I would consider they've had successful pro careers because they've been in the lineup and in off maybe first guy off the bench for those 3 years, but they've started obviously. Those are successful to me. When everyone's like, "Oh, he's been on the first team, he comes off the bench every once in a while," like that's not a successful pro career to me. You should play like a successful pro plays consistently.
But under Tuchel though, he was a contributor, a big time contributor under Tuchel.
He was.
And that year they won the Champions League. He was very influential in that
Yes,
Champions
he
League
was.
read. So
Yes.
I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it and say, okay, well, he didn't have the type of impact on the field that he would have liked due to injuries, and that happens in any player's career.
Yep.
You know, but he's had success and he's won a major trophy. There's not many players in world football that can turn around and said they've won a Champions League.
Oh, he's won
know?
Champions League. He won World Club Championship, right? He won.
Then he won it. He
FA Cup.
won the FA Cup final. He beat Man United in the final, and he had it. Same with Mason Mount.
Yeah.
You know, they've had good careers there, but anyway, you know, the move for me, it's good for him. I think it's good for him.
I want to see on that move to Milan, I want to see goals and assists go up, and I want to see the assertiveness he plays with the men's national team. I want to see that assertiveness at AC Milan. I think if you see that, I think that'll be great for him. It'll translate to what he does with the national team even more. I think he'll learn a lot more with playing with Giroud again, because him and Giroud seemed very close at Chelsea. So I think that'll be a very positive thing for him. And if he gels with his other teammates, I think he'll pick up a little more. He can bring that back to the national team, and I think you can see some guys then excel at the national team level. So I mean, you got a bunch of different guys playing at different clubs now. That's the top starting 11 guys. So it'll be good.
Overall, I think it's a good move for him. I personally just wanted to see the best American player play in the best league and see where he could go there selfishly. Let's just call it selfish on my part. It is what it is. Another player moving away from England, another U.S. men's national team player moving away from England. He's leaving the championship and heading towards the Champions League. Brendan Aaronson has gone out on loan for 1 year from Leeds, who were relegated this past year, and he heads to Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. This, I would say, is probably a good move. Again, personally, this is going to be selfish. I really wanted to see him compete in the championship because the championship is a beast of a league. And I mean a beast of a league. You are playing Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, and then it is just grueling. It is survival of the fittest, essentially, in the championship. The Bundesliga is probably a little bit more tactical, a little bit more, I don't know, probably just better quality soccer overall.
Would
So
you
it's
consider the
probably good.
championship a top 5 league in the world?
The EFL championship? No.
No.
Really?
No.
Would you?
I mean, it's better than the French league. Wouldn't you consider that?
Yeah.
I think it's a harder league to get out of.
It's super tough.
I think if you
it's a
threw some of
super
those
difficult league.
championship teams in other leagues like the Bundesliga or La Liga, I think you'd see them higher to middle table, in my opinion.
Well, it's just like there's an argument to be said for that about any league, right? I mean, you look at the top 2 in Scotland. You know, Celtic at Rangers. You know, if they come into the Premier League, where would they live?
Yeah.
You know, and they probably live mid-table, really.
Yeah, they'd
to be honest
be
with
8,
you,
9,
you
10
know.
every
Yeah,
year,
some-
right? I
something
mean,
like that.
you nailed it. You nailed it.
But going back to the Brendan Aaronson deal, I think we all know, we all pretty much know that Leeds are going to bounce back quickly. They've got too good of a squad to do that. But
And it's just a loan.
yeah,
so-
it was an interesting thing actually, to be honest with you, because I was reading some about the contract that he'd signed with Leeds, and it had a relegation clause
clause.
in there that allowed him to go out on loan for a year.
Yep.
With them coming back to the Premier League,
Yep.
or a full sale. So Leeds have opted for the loan, you know, which allows him to go and get game experience in a higher league, and when they get promoted, he'll come back.
I assume they
Against
wanted
his brother,
to keep
who's at
him.
Frankfurt.
I assume they wanted to keep him there because I think he is a he could be a very good championship player and can really help them dig out of that league. But obviously, part of his contract was the clause in there, Danny, as you said. So he's probably said, I want to go. If anybody comes in at one of the top 5 leagues in the world, I want to go. And now he's going to a Union Berlin, who's making their maiden voyage into the Champions League. So he's going to be helping a club. It's almost 2 different levels above where he's at with Leeds.
So for me, I think he lacks a little bit of the athleticism to play in the Championship and Premier League, in my opinion, Aaronson. He's more of a role player, and I think right now Leeds need players that the loan makes sense to me that Leeds need players that can get them back to the Premier League, like you said, Danny. So the loan makes sense to me. Let him out to Union Berlin. Maybe he'll start some games. He'll play some games. They get back to the EPL. Okay, I'm going to come back and play. He started at the beginning of his career at Leeds, and he kind of saw himself on the bench, coming off the bench, and I think he was not bad doing that. But I just, to be a starter in the Premier League, I think you need to be a huge difference maker, and I don't think that's what Aaronson is.
I think his mind was already made up, and going back to Craig's point about liking him to stay in the Championship with Leeds, I think he'd already made his mind up before Leeds had appointed Daniel Farkas as the manager.
Yes.
And Farkas is absolutely born certified of promotion out of the Championship because he's done it twice.
Wow.
Did it twice with Norwich. So him going back there was, I would have liked to have seen him stick around, obviously with the intention to help Leeds get promoted. But, you can't argue with the young lad. I mean, he's a young American soccer player that's very, very talented, and, he's got a great deal of, things to learn. But, if a Champions League club comes in for you, whether it's loan or otherwise,
correct,
you're going.
And then you get a chance to play in Champions League, right?
You're going. Even if it's just 6 games and you don't get out of the group, you play in a full season in the Europa League.
And listen, also Bayern, you're playing Bayern, Dortmund, Frankfurt. I mean, those are tough games in the Bundesliga. I mean, he played for Salzburg, Red Bull Salzburg. He never made it to RB Leipzig, but it's no easy task to, as Nate will tell us, to work your way through the Bundesliga. And obviously you only have the Pokal and you have the regular season, then you have UEFA, Champions League, or Europa League. You don't have all the other cup competitions like you do in England,
right.
But it's still a good league. There's still some very good young players. It's tough. So I think it'll be good for him. I want to see him get confidence back because I think he gets a little confidence. I think that'll translate into his game with the national team because he's kind of come on for a few times for the national team, and it just hasn't looked like how it was pre-World Cup. I think he made you could tell in the World Cup that he just, I don't know if it was confidence or he just wasn't quite quick enough with the players he was playing against to make a difference in certain situations, depending on how you lined him up. As a wide player taking guys on 1v1, I don't think he was a difference maker there when he would come inside the game because he played a lot as a 10 and a midfielder for the Philadelphia Union and, for, the Union too for the reserve team and whatnot. So I think he's more comfortable there. He can play out wide and beat guys, but I just don't know if he has the pace to do that. But, so confidence building I think would be a good thing. Different coach, different system, different place. Who knows? Maybe he'll like it so much that he'll want, I want to stay in the Bundesliga because he knows he'll be successful there. So we'll see.
Yeah, good move overall, though. Probably right. Again, probably on my selfish part, I just wanted to really see a good young American, see what they could do in the championship. And I think we're all expecting Leeds to bounce back. Although I can tell you from personal experience that when a good team drops down in the championship and you expect them to bounce back right away, they could be there for 3 years and it could almost ruin your club.
Wow.
Trust me.
Wasn't that an ownership thing?
No, it wasn't at the time.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't at the time. We went through some ownership pieces after the first year, but we had good players. We dropped into the championship. We actually went and bought 2 or 3 different championship club captains to come in different positions, and we all went, okay, this is going to be easy. Going to walk this league.
This is going to be easy.
3 years later, still there. Trust me, the championship is probably the toughest league in the world to get out of.
It's a grind.
It is.
I think all the EFL leagues are a grind because of how many games you played in the cup competitions. Yeah.
So yes, we expect Leeds to get out,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure they would have loved to have had Brendan Aaronson there helping them.
Oh, for sure.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Another one that came across is Brooks. You look.
Oh, I didn't want to. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or after. Is the Landon Donovan comments about Pulisic? You guys, everyone read
throw
about
that in there. Throw that in there. Yeah. Go, what did Mr. Sir Landon Donovan have to say about Mr. Christian Pulisic?
He thinks he should have made a move back to MLS instead of going to AC Milan because he said he would have played more and it would have been better for him prepping for the 2026 World Cup.
All right. Well,
and also he would have got paid more. But I don't think this was a move for Christian about money necessarily. Maybe sponsorship, but like, because it was Puma, because he's a Puma guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, he was like, oh, Messi's coming back, and then let's bring Christian back. And like,
But that would have bucked the trend of young players going back to the MLS, and he's still. I mean, he's not even in his. Pulisic's not even hit his prime yet.
Right.
No,
24 years old. He's still got 3 years before his
4 years
prime.
before he hits his prime at 28, 29 years old. So no.
I do not agree with that.
I like how Landon Donovan was like, you can go play for LA Galaxy. Well, yeah, because they suck right now, right?
Love Landon, but he's a bit controversial.
Yeah.
It is.
I think he's self-serving. He wants this league to do very well. He's a former MLSer. He wants the league to do as well as it can. He sees the upswing in it. He's obviously part of that group that's coming from San Diego, right? He's part of that.
That has not been determined because his San Diego Loyal are apparently still going to play if there's an MLS team there. So
all right, well,
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
There'll be 3 teams in San Diego. There'll be an MLS team, a NISA team, and a USL Championship team.
I mean, they got enough.
I don't know if that
people-
place can
they got
handle 3
enough
pro
people
teams.
over there. But obviously, he wants MLS to do well. He's all about MLS. But no, absolutely not. Christian Pulisic comes back here.
This was a random
Career suicide, I think, that's what it is. Because he would score a goal or two every single game. He would not.
Would he?
He needs.
It's
to go
pretty physical,
challenge-
Craig,
he
and
needs
he's pretty soft.
Nah, he needs to go challenge himself in one of the top 5 leagues. As we said, MLS is not there yet.
I don't know. Some of those South American players might eat him up in MLS.
A good South American player, a really good South American player.
There's plenty of those
He's
that
in
exist
Europe.
There's plenty of those that exist in Italy.
There are. That's true. A lot of them usually jump there, then jump to the EPL because of it. Just saying, I mean, every league has its
the funny thing is,
physicality.
you don't find a lot of Latin American players, South American type players in the EPL, but you find them in Serie A, La Liga,
Bundesliga.
the Bundesliga, but you don't find them in the EPL, and I don't know why, to be honest, but it's an interesting thought, and maybe something we could go down in the future. But no, I definitely think Pulisic. I don't know the other options he had. I assume there's other options. But I think he made the right choice going to AC Milan. Like I said, selfishly would have loved to have seen him stick around in the Premiership.
Now, after AC Milan, if he, was like 28, 29, he's like, okay, like I've had my fun. Let's say he wins a couple, Serie A titles. Maybe he gets the Champions League title with AC Milan. I mean, at that point,
that's pretty big. You just said the next 5 years, 6 years, he's going to win a champion. Like a pretty bold prediction.
That's 24, so 4 or 5. So give him like 4 to 5 years. I mean, listen, the Italians want to spend money. They want to become relevant again because they feel like they haven't been relevant. I mean, I remember all the 90s and 80s. I mean, when you played an Italian team, I mean, it was game on, man. It was game on, and OG Ronaldo playing for Inter Milan, and they were always tough matches.
Yeah. But I think the last time that an Italian team won the Champions League was Inter Milan, right, with Jose Mourinho.
Yes.
It's Bayern Munich at the Bernabeu.
And that was
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And nobody's even come close after that. Even as good as Juventus were with Ronaldo and and Pogba, and
they fell short a little bit.
Oh, way short of what they fell. Yeah.
Yep. But I think Italy wants to get back on the map. You got American owners there, so I think it'll be a good move for him. He'll be good. So.
Just a quick update. We're in the 57th minute, I believe, of the game. USA 0, Canada 0, and both teams right now are plus odds. So if you like to do some betting, do some in-game betting, you can bet on either one of them to win and get plus odds there.
Any betting companies want to sponsor?
Yeah,
anyone.
Yeah. We've already got our lovely beer sponsor. Thank you again to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Their beer is phenomenal.
Yes.
Meant to try and make it down there this week, but I just couldn't make it. Too much stuff going on with kids and work. It is what it is. You know, Danny, what we forgot to talk about was you
Serginho
last week was you were at Soccer World where you picked up that lovely jersey that you were wearing last week, the Inter Miami jersey.
Yeah, the
correct?
messy one.
I did, yeah. My buddy Andy, no, it's actually my best mate, my son's godfather. He lives in Miami, not too far away from the stadium that they're building, and he goes all the time. So it was more of I'll get it and go to a game with him. But yeah, I was at Soccer World in Rochester, picked it up, and yeah, they've got a wide array of shirts there. So get yourself down to Soccer World in Rochester.
Nailed it. All right, so listen, some other U.S. men's national team players that are on the radar to be moving, rumored to be moving this summer. Serginho Dest from Barcelona, currently on 2 premierships radar. It's Fulham and Crystal Palace. Reported fee of £22 million. I feel that's actually a fairly good fee for Serginho Dest. Again, he's not a defender, but he plays defense. We'll get into that. But I think that's a fairly good fee for someone like Serginho Dest. God knows how the Pulisic fee was only $24 million. That still boggles my mind. He should have gone for more than that. Do we feel, boys, do we feel that Serginho Dest would make it in the Premiership? Do we feel that he's a good fit there? And
Do you want the short answer or the really long one?
let's go with the short, and then you can explain.
No.
No.
Absolutely no.
Because he's not a defender or a good defender? I mean, he did all right at the World Cup. He did okay at the World Cup and has played well for the U.S. men's national team. He did well against Mexico and
think the
Canada in the Nations League.
Day in and day out, that'll be tough
I'm
for
going to
him.
go against the grain here, and Brooks is going to get upset. But I think the Premier League is it's a different animal.
Yeah.
It just really is. It's just a different animal. There's players that he will have faced. I mean, he wasn't even getting in the first team at Barcelona.
No.
And there's only really the top 2, 3 there. But coming into the Premier League, those opponents, those wingers, he'd get eaten alive.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fee. I think we said this earlier, in our group chat, and I said that the fee seems extortionate for me. Or
$22 million.
See, I thought that was a fair fee. I think that's a fair fee
for a
him.
player that's not really proved himself, and that he's not won a Champions League. He's not won trophies.
That's the going rate these days, though, isn't it? I mean, it's
Right, but for a 22-year-old right back that doesn't defend,
I mean, he starts for his national team.
you might as well play him as a winger.
he is a winger. He's a more out-and-out winger.
Just-
But he
I
can't
think he
score
actually would
goals.
fit in at Crystal Palace pretty well with the players they have there in the system. I think if
Or
it's
Hodgson.
yeah, I think Roy Hodgson could get the best out of him. He's not going to be a world-class player in the Premiership. Don't get me wrong.
Will he teach him to
he'll be
defend?
all right. If there's
Will
any-
old Roy be like, can he dust off the boots and show him how to defend?
Roy's not dusting anything.
No, Roy.
It's 76 years old.
He's got dust in his nose. He's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'm still
I broke my hip.
I'm still stunned that Roy Hodgson went back there for a year. That they wanted him back there for a year, but it just shows they don't have a
If
plan.
he can
They
do
don't have a
it,
plan. So Crystal
Well, who was the
Palace
coach? Who was the
Patrick Vieira
who was the,
was before.
no? Who was the
Oh.
who was the coach in American Football College that coached till his mid-80s? Was it Penn State?
Oh, Bob Warming.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno. Yeah,
sorry,
he
Joe
coached
Paterno,
till he was
yeah.
like
Yeah.
85 or something like that, right?
Yeah, he did. But I mean, I was going to say they've got all these assistant coaches, and I guess you got that sort of in the Premiership now
Yeah.
too, right? I was just reading something about the Villa. They got 3 assistant coaches, a special teams coach, an individual coach, 3 video analysts, and the list of coaches.
Goes on and on.
Most of these managers that they're making the team decisions, making tactics decisions, and talking in the pre-game press conference and the post-game. They're not on the training pitch.
No.
The coaches are taking care of the training. They're managing egos. They're managing players. You
Yeah.
know, and Roy Hodgson's very good at that.
Yep.
You know,
most
so-
most managerial positions nowadays are figurehead positions, in my opinion. Unless you're
more
Pep,
figurehead
unless you're Pep or
than-
someone else that likes to
than-
run
than
training.
previously,
or Mikel.
but I think they do more on the day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Berhalter's just a figurehead position. Let's be honest. His assistants do everything.
Oh, let's not go down that path
oh,
again.
good Lord. I do have a question for you boys coming up in a little bit with this USA-Canada game still at 0-0. Do we feel that the lineup was more Greg Berhalter than BJ Callahan? A lot of people on the Facebook group are saying it looks like it's a Greg Berhalter lineup.
What do you have to select from?
I
I'm
mean,
just
It's
saying.
like second and third team.
Like, the
players.
problem is you lost Aiden Morris. I don't think he's back because of certain reasons. You lost Jordan Morris, and then you lost Sonora, 2 guys to injury. So you brought in Jackson Ewell. I thought they could have brought in Tanner Tessman. who plays for Venezia in Serie B. But I believe he's in the middle of teams trying to acquire him from Serie A. So that's probably maybe why he wasn't brought in, because maybe he wanted to make sure that transfer
Sure,
would
sure.
happen.
But
Yeah.
so you're saying it's just who's he got to select from? It's probably just a beat.
I mean,
from
listen,
Callahan.
there was 60 players you could select from, and obviously you're not selecting the top tier guys that just play in the Nations League. I don't know why people keep thinking like, oh, why don't we win Pulisic? And I'm like, this isn't the tournament.
See, I think the competition is absolutely silly.
Gold Cup
I don't understand it.
or Nations
100%.
League.
I just don't understand it. It's, I mean, these lads, right? These lads are playing in the Gold Cup for their country, and they're missing vital league games for their club.
Yep.
Right, where they're paid their bread and butter,
Yep.
essentially, where they're paid their salary, and they go off and play with the country. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with playing with your country,
Yeah.
but these meaningless competitions sometimes that UEFA and CONCACAF and FIFA put on, it's just
100%
You know?
agree. I mean,
Oh, it's a money
Walker's,
grab.
Walker's
It's a
Zimmerman
money
for
grab.
one.
right.
Yeah, he
It's a
missed
money
a vital game last night for Nashville FC, who lost, and he's their starting center back.
No, he missed that because he got red carded the game before.
I thought he was. Is he not? Oh, that's right. He's not.
That's
in the,
right.
he's not
And
in the
I'm not just saying that
Yeah,
because
right.
I'm not just saying that because it's the American national team. I have a problem. We talked about this earlier on this
In
week.
Europe,
I have,
it's enough.
I have
It's
a problem with
crazy.
the Nations League
Yeah. Oh,
in Europe. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
Did you pay, Danny? Did you pay any attention?
No,
to any
I
of the
didn't even
games?
watch any games.
Didn't watch a
Even
single
when England
piece
went
of
to the semi-finals a couple of years ago against Portugal, I didn't watch
it.
it.
Yeah, because it's useless.
I'm with you on that one. I mean, when do these guys have all these? It's ridiculous. It's like you're now a soccer player that in the old days you used to get like maybe a couple months off to like kind of re-energize and get yourself ready for the next season. Whereas if you're playing in the international team and everything, it's just one after another. It's crazy.
Here's the funny
And
thing.
why do you think guys get injured I mean, look at Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, there has to be a reason why he really hurt himself, honestly, at the end of the Man City season, you know what I mean? Just like, it's too much. And I just think the players need to all take a stand and be like, this is bullshit. Like, this needs
It's
to
never gonna
stop.
happen. Players can stand up and do what they want, but it's the clubs and
Well, they can
FIFA,
choose not to
FIFA.
play if they wanted to.
And guess what happens?
What if the top players don't play?
You're gonna end up. You're gonna end up. Those fellas are gonna be out on their ass, and new players will come in because there's always someone willing to take your spot.
Not if they're the top guys that you need to win top competitions.
Are you being serious? So you really
Strike. You work for baseball and hockey.
And that almost killed those sports. Where are those sports now?
I don't think a strike will happen. I don't think
I
I
know.
don't think there'll be a player revolt, but there definitely has to be some discussion between the players' union
Yeah.
and the football associations.
Yes.
For 100% sure, because these boys, I mean, so the last Premier League game was May 23rd, then the FA Cup after that, and then
Yep.
the Champions League after that. I think it was the middle of June, right?
And if you
Those-
weren't playing in those, you got a couple weeks off before the Nations League
So
started.
those teams came back this week. Mine, yours, Villa. They came back
that
this week in
preseason,
July
right?
for preseason testing, right? And then they start. Man United go on tour next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they've had 3 weeks off. So the international players that played in those UEFA European Championship games, they've had probably 3-4 weeks off. I think they joined later on in the tour.
Yep.
But they've probably had 4 weeks off. It's not enough.
No.
It's absolutely not enough. We've said this.
You
a
need to
lot, and
decompress
I
from the
agree.
game sometimes.
It is in these Nations League and these Gold Cup.
It's the same thing with the cup
But-
competitions during the league. Like it's just I get that you want the lower league teams to be involved with stuff, but I don't know how you change it. I don't know what you can do, but and I get it. More ticket sales, more money. Big first division club comes down to play in the. I understand. Like
It all comes down to the almighty dollar. It all
yeah.
comes down to the almighty dollar.
And that's
why
just-
we're playing these games. Because
it's like we're
TV
choosing
rights
money
are
over
fine.
people's health, and I think that's the wrong thing to do. But
It's not a new thing.
I know it's not, but it's gotten to the point though, and like we can say, oh well, science is better, and we've got them strapped up to the catapult and stat, the trackers and the heart rate monitors, and we give them juice in the middle of halftime, and you know what I mean. But like it's just the body just needs rest sometimes. They need rest, and luckily they're not playing in America where they're traveling in 3 different time zones, so like it really screws up your body. You know?
I think we could go on about this all day long. We're all on the same page. There's too many games, but we still tune into some of them. There's people tuning in all over the world. We know people right now that have traveled down to Cincinnati to watch this Gold Cup game that It's just a quarterfinal game, but it's sold out, and it's being played, and it is what it is. All right, I do want to make sure that we hit this. Another U.S. men's national team player rumored to be on the move today. I saw a rumor, Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna
Where?
is being looked at by Borussia Mönchengladbach, also in the Bundesliga. This might actually be a decent move for the kid because, yes, he's only 19, but he's been on the bench for the past year. And as Nate always tells us, he's on the bench because there's people ahead of him. There's 2 guys ahead of him who can play better and who are doing better, and they're actually the same age as him. So this might be a good move if this is true. Who knows? Again, rumor. This one was on goal.com. I don't know. This is the only source I found on it, so it might just be clickbait. But the more I thought about it, the more I said, maybe this is a decent move for the kid, and he needs to get away and actually get some actual minutes and not just come off the bench for the last 20 minutes of each game.
Sorry, where was it? I missed. Sorry, I was.
Borussia Mönchengladbach, also.
Oh, to another German team, huh?
Yeah.
It's a lateral move, that. For
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's moving anywhere else
No.
because he can't get off the bench right now at
Yes.
BVB, you know?
You got 2 choices, and the problem is the American player chooses the latter. You can fight for your position and work hard, or you can be a little baby and cry and ask for your agent to move you. And the problem is they choose the latter.
I think it's also the agent. The agent sniffs something out and says, if I can get you a move, it means more money in my pocket. So
Exactly,
That's the
which
way
is
European agents-
terrible if you're a player, because again, that's career suicide again when you let your agent do that to you.
But again, Nate has told us 2 or 3 times, right? Nate being the Bundesliga expert we all rely upon for not only our weightlifting tips, but also beer drinking and, tips on life.
Pre-workout things too.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Nate has told us there is 1 or 2 players ahead of Gio Reyna in the squad, and that's why he's only been getting 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Well, what are you gonna do? He was a top player at the NYCFC Academy. All right, when Daddy's the GM or whatever, or sporting director, obviously he's gonna, and all the issues he had with the men's national team, he was gonna want his son to play. I mean, what are you gonna do with your Gio? I mean, this is where you got to be a big man, grow a pair of balls, and be like, I got to work hard to do something, to make a difference. Because everyone's like, I want to make a move to the Premier League. Well, it's even worse in the Premier League because everyone's scrapping and everyone wants the money and everyone wants to play and show off, that it's even worse. I mean, if you can't make it in the Bundesliga and scrap with like a Dortmund team, which is good with depth, I mean, what are you doing? Why are you playing? What's the point?
I think I actually thought at the time when he moved, I said, good for this young kid. His dad is in the MLS. His dad obviously wants him to stick around here. And he said, no, I'm going to go to the Bundesliga to fight it out there. I know it's a lateral move, but
Hasn't done much scrapping.
sometimes a lateral move can really help and spur on your career. I don't know. I don't mind it. Again, just a small rumor on, I think it was on goal.com. So we'll see if it happens. We'll see. But usually where there's smoke, there's fire. We'll see if anything happens. But
What do you think of Tim Weah to Juventus? We didn't talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
last week on the show, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought we talked
Did
about
we?
it. I thought it was a good. I think it's a good move for him. I think it's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
That's a step in the right direction. He is now.
I think
playing
he'll
for a
contribute for them.
Big,
Yeah.
big.
No, we
club.
we said that last week that
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good one in my opinion.
Good.
All right, boys. So before we really get in, we've had a lot of discussions of United, Man United. Obviously, we know the sale hasn't gone through yet. It hinges. There's still a lot of questions there. The Glazers are hanging on. We don't know why. David De Gea has been left, and he's gone. He's wished United well, said he wanted to stay. He was hoping to stay. Wasn't to be. That's normal there. The way he was treated at the club towards the end, there's differing opinions of what actually happened. We'll move past that. But 12 years, one of the best goalies that club has had. And if you think about it, that club has had an absolutely wealth full of goalies in the last 30 years. I mean, just some Edwin van der Sar. Oh, by the way, Edwin van der Sar struggling a little bit
Prez,
right
right?
now. Yeah, so hopefully he's all right. But one of the legends there, Edwin van der Sar. I would even put Barthez in there. Peter Schmeichel. You had I've probably missed half of them. Danny, you could probably name him, but just not how you wanted to see a guy who's put 12 years of heart and soul into the club be treated towards the end?
Well, we talked about this last week, and I've done a little bit more digging. And obviously, as things kind of roll on, and he made that statement the other day. Apparently the deal was still being worked on for 9 months, right? And the optics of the story, the initial story, don't look great. They don't. It looks like they've agreed a deal. And then they've gone back to him and said, well, we want to reduce the salary even more because, we want to align it with our, new structure of the wage structure at the club. And they've yanked it from under him, which if that has taken place, then obviously the optics of that story is not very great. But those contract talks were going on for the better part of 9 months. So, I guess if nothing was agreed on the club's end, and those last 4 or 5 weeks of the season where his performances have really dipped, then hasn't the manager got every right to turn around and say, you know what, with the new season, I'm just going in a different direction.
Yeah.
And is it more ruthlessness versus disrespect?
It's a business too.
And and he's looking at it going, okay, we'll talk about Onana in a minute, but he's looking at it going, okay, well, this goalkeeper's leaving on a free. If I sign him, I'm signing to a 5-year deal, 6-year deal. It's going to take up a lot of money, a lot of room. Or we can say goodbye and he can go and get his next big contract and we can bring in the goalkeeper that fits into the style that I want.
And the rumors are right now that David De Gea is contemplating his next move. He's going to take a little time to figure it out. He does have offers, rumored to have offers from Saudi Arabia.
MLS.
I'm sure MLS has come knocking. I'm sure.
To Inter Miami with Messi and friends.
You can't afford everybody. But you never know with MLS because, holy crap, they'll bend over backwards and change the rules for these guys. There's rumors of him going all over the world. Again, probably just not the ending you wanted to see for a club like that. Now, I did have a small argument with someone the other day, yesterday, saying, listen, you're not saving money by letting him go because you did just have to pay £50 million, which is the reported fee, for Onana, Andre Onana, coming in from Inter Milan. Now you still got to pay him. So now he's going to want probably a very similar salary to what De Gea had, maybe less. Let's go with round number of 100,000 less. You still have to pay $50 million to get him into the club, so you haven't saved money. It is a bizarre situation in my opinion, but I will say that most likely De Gea just didn't fit into Erik ten Hag's new system that he wants to play. Andre Onana is better with his feet, probably not as good as a goalie with his hands compared to David De Gea, but what are you going to do? You don't have to face as many shots if you can possess the ball more, and that's what you can with a goalie like Onana.
Or your center backs block shots.
Or
your center backs block shots, yeah.
Or your center mids actually defend and kill people.
So,
I think
like Tyler Adams.
I think we'll see that deal for Onana move pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think
it has to get done.
There's a little bit of a gap in evaluation at the moment, but that's par for the course of Manchester United negotiations with the people that we have in charge. So I think you'll see something around, 50 million euros with, 5 million performance related add-ons. I do like him. I do. And, going back to Craig's point last week, the shot stopping worries me, but I will say that, he can more efficiently implement Ten Hag's passing philosophy, especially at Old Trafford, and would make United more press resistant to opponents, with his ability to bypass those lines, last season's Champions League final really exemplified that for me with his technical ability. As good as Man City are against pressing, he was absolutely brilliant.
A lot of lines. And
brilliant from the back,
Yes.
and he played outside of his box in possession of the ball most of that game.
The one piece, and I've told you guys this, so you're going to roll your eyes when I say this, he just is unorthodox in my opinion. He stays on the line, which is bizarre to me. I think...
Can't outplay by the rules, Craig.
Unorthodox goalkeepers don't typically have long careers.
Okay, can you name a couple?
No, because you don't have long careers. You fade away and no one wants you as an unorthodox goal. Find a goalkeeper in the Premiership that stays on the line like Onana does. There was several instances in that Champions League final where he stayed on his line. And
Manuel Neuer's won a lot with Bayern Munich.
Not an unorthodox goalkeeper. Comes out because he's big.
No, he played.
comes off his
Oh,
line.
you don't tell me his sweeper keeper abilities, but how big he is
No.
not unorthodox.
But wasn't De Gea
Unorthodox.
unorthodox? De Gea probably saved more shots with his feet than he did with his hands, so is that not considered unorthodox?
I would say
Unorthodox
because they teach you to save with your feet now, or with your hands, not your feet. That's unorthodox
unorthodox
for a
with his
keeper.
saves on his feet, but he came off of his line well. The only real complaint I have about David De Gea and his goalkeeping skills is, besides his
Is Ederson
passing.
not unorthodox? I think Ederson's
no,
an orthodox
absolutely
keeper.
the only thing I'll say about De Gea is his lack of command in the air, and coming
Yeah, I
out
would
to
agree with that.
to claim balls, to claim and really make himself big, and coming out and getting balls. He lacked that. He relied on his center backs way too much for that. He let balls drop.
Well, that was his big. That was the big complaint very early on when Sir Alex Ferguson brought him in. Which was very interesting when Sir Alex brought him in. Actually, he missed a Man United league game to go and watch De Gea play. That's how important
Yeah.
De Gea was
Yeah.
to that next cycle of goalkeepers at Manchester United.
And I think he was very important back then. He was a very good addition, and as he's gotten a little older here, he's become a scapegoat, which is unfortunate.
I just don't like the fact that when he first came in, there was criticism about what you just said there about his ability to not be able to command his box and come collect crosses and all that sort of stuff. And he said this storied 12-year career, he's won trophies, he's most clean sheets in the club. He's a legendary goalkeeper in the same bracket as a Peter Schmeichel and Edwin van der Sar, a Jim Leighton, they're just absolutely fantastic goalkeepers. And now he's getting criticism on the way out after a 12-year career. And I don't like that.
I don't understand a lot of the criticism. I mean, I will say one again. I think the one thing that he lacked was his command of the box and coming to get balls from high balls. But besides that,
I think
I think he's a great keeper. I think he's been a brilliant keeper, one of the best keepers in the Premier League for 10 years. And I think he last year made 2 or 3 mistakes, which were harped on about by Man United fans. But he saved 2 or 3 games, in my opinion. And I don't think Man United get into the Champions League spots last year with any other goalkeeper in that spot. That's my big thing with De Gea. Now, Onana, I think, is even more unorthodox. For me, he just stands on his line, and I don't get it. I do not get it. In the Champions League final, there were 3 or 4 shots where they were, luckily for him, hit here and here, and if they were hit another foot and a half, they're in the back of the net. He is going to have games where he's going to have to learn how to not be unorthodox in the Premiership. Again, the toughest, most ruthless league in the world.
Those were calculated, Craig.
You can say that. I call him fucking lucky. I mean, I'm willing to put money on it that within 2 years, United are looking for another goalkeeper.
Hold on, there's been like 2 or 3 situations where the button should have been pressed because you two. I'm keeping it clean, actually.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it very PG, but there's been some,
Listen, I think the reason why De Gea did win trophies, but I think there were times he let in a lot of soft goals, in my opinion. There were saves that he had made that he usually would make, and then there are times where he wouldn't make that save. And I think when you're a keeper and you've shown that you can make those saves and you can't make them on a consistent basis, I think that's where people really kind of like dug into him a bit. And I think that was unfair to a certain extent. And I think people are really unfair. I was a goalkeeper myself. I think people are very unfair to goalkeepers because there's a lot we do have to deal with defenders not defending. And, if you really think about it, it's really starts with the center forward, and they have to dribble by everyone and play through everyone before it gets to you. So when you're not organized and everything,
as a coach, you always turn around to your players, and your forwards and your midfielders, your elite level players, your game changers, your performers. They can produce the type of magic, and then you get those forwards and midfielders come off the field, and they're going, what the hell's the goalkeeper doing today? And you're like, hold on a minute, like that passing sequence that led to their goal started in their end of the field.
Because you didn't press the person,
right?
or you didn't cut off the
you didn't pick up a player, you didn't make movements, all that type of stuff. So I think it's one of the hardest positions to play, and it's very unforgiving.
It is.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
very
It's the fight.
unforgiving, and you could make that save every day in training, and then all of a sudden it happens, and it gets and also it sucks. Like you're shooting into a bunch of people, it gets deflected, it takes a bounce or the weather. It's a tough position to play.
It absolutely
Any
is.
goalkeeper
It
position is, in my opinion.
Again, like Danny said, De Gea on his way out has picked up some criticism, which I, one, as well, do not understand, especially after all the trophies and all the service he's had.
Yeah.
Again, we'll have differing opinions on Andre Onana coming in. Looks like the club and the player have agreed fees. Inter Milan and Man United have not agreed fees, but
If Onana wins a big
that'll get
cup,
worked out.
will you take your word back?
no, absolutely not. Just because he wins a big cup?
Yeah.
Why?
Like he
What's
wins
a big cup?
the Premier League?
Do you see that disdain on his face for Manchester United? It's just, you can see it. He's just,
I love how people think it's the Manchester United. It has nothing to do with the club. It has the fact that just because your manager has bought someone, everybody thinks he's God's gift to whatever position. It's funny. I was actually reading a big article today about why Mason Mount's a terrible buy for Man United, and I went, "Ooh, I never looked at some of those little pieces." When you can take the club out of it and put the position in there, you look at things differently. I do not like Manchester United, but I can absolutely separate things like an Onana going there, and Man United deserve a better goalkeeper than him. They deserve someone who is better than him, and I do not think it is a good fit.
I mean, he got Ajax pretty far in the UEFA Champions
don't-
League, didn't he?
Ajax, okay.
they don't necessarily.
Ajax is one of the best clubs ever in Europe.
The game's changed so much.
Come on now. Yeah, and he's right. The game has
game has
changed. You need
changed so
keepers that can play
much.
with your feet.
You know, the game has changed so much where goalkeepers have evolved. They're almost an 11th outfield player that
Yes.
can really stop shots with their hands. I mean,
Yeah.
name me one world class goalkeeper at the moment.
One?
Yeah, name me one world class goalkeeper that you would go after if you were Manchester United.
If you get anyone in the
One
world.
that you can actually
Yeah,
go
the one that you
after.
can actually
Oh.
go after right
Yeah,
now.
I was
is a
going to say there's
world-class
3 or
keeper.
4, but you can't go after him
I
because
mean,
they're big
Courtois is
club.
probably one, right, at Real Madrid.
Yeah, but you're not getting him.
You're not
right?
getting him,
You're not getting
right?
Ederson. You're not getting Ellison. You're not getting Martinez. I mean, to be honest, I don't know why they didn't bid on Martinez from Villa, because a £50 million bid would have gotten him probably away.
Because he won a World Cup, right?
Right.
Well, no, he is a very good goalkeeper. And
But Jan Sommer, the Dutch keeper.
Jan Sommer right now is
He's
he
going
at
to Inter.
yes, that is he's going to be the replacement. So the replacements right now lined up for Inter are either Hugo Lloris or Jan Sommer. Hugo Lloris would be a huge mistake to go to Inter Milan. Hugo Lloris is one of the worst goalkeepers in the last 4 years, in my opinion. The man cannot save a ball. He cannot play the ball with his feet. Whew! Hey, Inter Milan, good luck with that if you get Hugo Lloris. I don't. Do you guys think I hate Inter Milan now too? You
No.
guys really think I have a disdain for Inter Milan?
No,
I do
he's
not.
I'm telling you, the player I don't like.
He's a bit of a smart ass tonight, right?
Welcome. But I think Jan Sommer will end up at Inter Milan as the replacement, as Danny just said there. Just so everybody's aware, we're at the 85-minute mark. It is 0-0 in the Canada-United States Gold Cup quarterfinal game. Hey, Nate, it's 0-0. Extra time is looming. The words I told you so. Hey, how are you? Hope your game's going well. If anybody is wondering where Nate is, he is playing a soccer game this evening with his men's team.
Should be over soon.
Some sort of state cup or league cup. I don't know. I don't follow the.
He's
lower
not still
level.
chasing bears in the wild. He's actually doing something.
Yeah, I actually went and had a beer with Nate last night. He had a few scratches on his arm, but I think that might have been from his wife, not the Bears. He said it was a good weekend. Let's put it that way. All right.
He wasn't Rambo, just killing
He
people
was
left and
not.
right.
He was not.
Killing bears left and right.
Danny, not to harp on, but I do want your opinion real quick. You do seem to follow it a lot, obviously, and you have some sources that we do not. What is happening at United regarding several players like Maguire, Greenwood, and others who are reportedly getting shipped out? Or let's start with Maguire and Greenwood. What's going on there, man?
The Maguire situation right now is static. He's still away because he played in those England internationals. I think he's got an extra week and joins the team in Norway next week when they're on tour. There's rumours about him going because I think, we're rumoured to be interested in the Nias, I think his name is, with Newcastle, a French centre-back. So Maguire is, we know Tottenham's interest in Harry Maguire.
West Ham as well, apparently, reported interest.
Yeah, West Ham and Tottenham, are two clubs that are interested in him at this moment in time. I believe that the conversation already took place with Bruno Fernandes. He's taken over as captain, and
Yes.
Maguire's already been told. So
He's been stripped of the armband.
So that's going to be a big indication of the fact that he's potentially leaving.
How many years has he left on his contract?
I think he's got 2 left. You know, I think he's got 2 left.
Like, anyone? Washing machine for Maguire? Anyone? Anyone?
I mean, they're not going to make the money back on him, right? They paid
Not a washing
75
machine. No.
Paid $75 million for him.
Be lucky if we
They
get
probably- I say, yeah, you'll be lucky if you get 30. I'm going to guess 30-ish with add-ons.
But that's, I mean, that's just that's just a very Manchester United way of doing things. You know,
hold on, boys. Hold on. It looks like we have a United States goal.
Ooh.
In the 88th minute here. So just as I go ahead and say, Nate, I told you so. It's not going to end 0. It will end 0-0. Is it? I'm struggling to see who scored. It looks like it might be Vasquez.
Oh, Nate's
Oh,
Vasquez.
Nate's gonna be
Vasquez.
happy.
Oh, man.
Nate right now has a big smile on his face, and he's probably in the middle of a game. He doesn't know why.
Doing flips.
It does look like Vasquez has gotten it, and they're up 1-0.
Ooh.
USA 1-0 in the 88th minute. We will see. That's why my phone buzzed and fell down and made a big noise. Go boom. Sorry to cut you off there.
No.
Watching the goal here. Ooh.
Can't they just cut his contract, or they have to pay him out the rest if they cut his contract? Can they do that in Europe? I
yeah,
mean,
they
it's so
can.
easy.
Well,
in America.
there's a thing called buying out. You can buy out the last year of your contract.
Only in
know.
the last year.
Yeah, you can
Can't
buy out
buy
the
out-
last year.
okay.
You know, to be honest with you, I think, me personally, I think he'll go. The Mason Greenwood situation is very interesting. At the minute, he's been training on his own. He hasn't been welcomed back into, you know, the preseason with the rest of the squad at this moment because the club's still going through.
They're still in that investigation.
Yeah, they're still
making a
going through that
decision, though.
internal investigation at the
bizarre, huh?
moment. So, but
Sorry, Dane. I hate to cut you off twice there. Just so everybody's aware, charges were dropped, and he is not in any legal trouble anymore.
Right.
He is technically at the club, but as you just said, training away from the team, and no decision has been made.
right.
It's a tough situation. It's a strange.
It is, and I think once the charges were dropped, the club said they put out a statement and said that they were going to
Stand by him.
stand by him, look into the investigation, and you know we'll make a decision on Mason Greenwood returning as and when needed. But I think, obviously, that leads into the Rasmus Højlund deal because Atalanta want a replacement, and you know I think it's almost like out of sight, out of mind with Mason Greenwood at the moment. They don't want to sell him. He hasn't played for a year, so they probably wouldn't get much for him anyway, and he's still got 4 or 5 years left in his contract. So to send him to Italy to play over there, and then United get Rasmus Højlund in return, I think that's what's being rumored at this moment in time, and I think it's a good move for him.
Yep.
You know, it gets him away from the.
I think that would be a great move to get out of the country, go away, prove yourself at a club that needs it. I think that's probably what is being worked on in the background, and probably the best for
To the Bundesliga.
everybody involved, right? We could get into the Rasmus Højlund stuff. I think we could go down that rabbit hole for a while, so maybe we'll push it off a little bit.
Right.
It's just rumored now. The amount of money that is being thrown around for the young man talked about is, in my opinion, bizarre. That's a lot of money
think
for
that's-
someone who's done nothing.
I do think that's why the Greenwood thing came up. Is this like, you know, we'll swap.
We'll swap.
You know, for a year on loan. We'll see how we do, and then we've got first option to buy Rasmus Højlund and bring Greenwood back on loan. You know, and I think that's an important thing for the club.
Hold on here, boys. We got a VAR review, and it is a penalty for Canada.
Oh, man.
The 91st.
Come on, Turner.
91st minute. It looked like the ball may have popped up.
Handball.
And handball in the box.
And they had one of those earlier as well, didn't they? There was a push in the box, pushing the
Yeah,
back and forth.
the
handball.
corner, yeah.
Miles Robinson, you silly boy.
Mm.
Yeah, that's definitely a handball. He pushes his hand.
So I'm on for my prediction. If you look on our Facebook group, I said 2-1 after extra
You
time.
did.
So I'm on.
I
for
said
my
3-1 at
prediction.
regular time.
USA are playing. We'll call it a little bit of the dark arts right now, trying to get the ball, trying to hustle the penalty kick taker. They're kind of standing around Matt Turner just took the ball and threw it away.
Yep.
That's very interesting.
Imagine that the United States of America not playing by sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's
Usually Mexico would do that to us, so they're kind of picking up stuff. The dark arts or Mexico.
man, it is. That's bizarre. Oh, the crowd is a bit sullen right now. They are not.
Hey, Craig, I heard you got another video for another cousin.
I did. I do. Oh, God. We keep getting these videos every week. I don't know where they're coming from. I'm embarrassed to show this for him, but we'll show it. Once this game finishes, as in goes to extra time. We'll take a small break, and then we'll come back and show that. I want to keep us on here, though, as the penalty kick taker steps up. Turner's on the line. We'll see how this goes.
He's been good saving PKs.
He has. We'll see. I always guess to the goalie's right. This is a right-footed taker. I think Matt Turner needs to go to the right down the middle, like an arrow. Very nice goal. So
Right
1-1 in the 93rd minute.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Is what it is. Why don't we? All right, so we could do United all day long. Anyways, let's move on. I think the Rasmus Højlund one is an interesting piece. We'll talk about that at another day. Just so everybody's aware, a couple of weeks ago we talked about Wilfried Zaha. It looked like he could be heading over to Saudi Arabia, but he's turned it down. He has turned down Al Nassr and Ronaldo, and looking right now at a move to Napoli. Looks like he wants to stay in Europe and continue to play there. So that is an interesting one there.
Yay.
It's not just Napoli. It's Lazio, PSG, and Galatasaray.
Yeah, it was like
All in for
All in for him.
Galatasaray, I think, have been in for him for a long time. They love that type of player.
All in for him.
PSG, they got some big issues right now, as we know about. What was the other one? Lazio? Yeah.
Lazio.
I think Napoli are probably the best team there.
Really, I've heard
right?
Mbappe has signed a contract already at Real Madrid for 2024.
Oh, yeah, that's been around. So that's why I don't think he's signed it. I think it's agreed upon.
Okay.
Agreed upon. But
I don't think he. The interesting thing about Wilfried Zaha at the minute, is obviously he's been really unlucky in recent years because he was rumored to be going to Spurs and Arsenal, and then he got injured and never materialized.
Yep.
And obviously turning down 30 million a season at Al Nassr was it's a big chunk of change considering he's 30.
Is he that old? Man,
yeah.
he's been around for a while.
Yeah. I think he'll stay at
Crystal
Palace
Palace,
because
yeah.
they've offered him
Palace another year, too.
What's that? Yeah, I think he'll stay at Palace because they've offered him 200 grand a week.
Which is a lot of money for a club like Crystal Palace.
It really is, right? And the interesting thing to note, right, and found this out this week, is that he just became a part owner with Stormzy, the British rapper, last week for Southern Premier League team AFC Croydon.
Oh, I did read that. Yeah.
They're in the 7th tier of English football, so he's just become a
So
part owner.
lower than what Wrexham was in.
Yeah, so the 7th tier, so
Wow.
below. Well, they are considered the football league, but you've got to go through 3 promotions to get to League 2. So
Yes.
But,
Wrexham was 5th tier, so that's 2 below. Wow.
right, and that's not too far away from Palace. So I'm thinking that he'll probably end up seeing out his career at Palace, and he's an underrated player in my opinion. I mean, he came to United for a year and just didn't get the chance that Sir Alex had kind of promised
Would
him.
love to see him stay at Palace. I think it's a great fit for him,
Yeah.
especially. Probably what helped is Roy Hodgson's back. He had a
Right.
great spell under Roy Hodgson. Guess who's back? Roy Hodgson for another year.
Mhm.
I think he'll sign another contract. I think you're right, Danny. I think he'll stay there. I hope he does. And we'll see there. Lukaku has Chelsea have turned down an offer from Juventus for Lukaku.
It's like everywhere with him.
Yeah, Lukaku wants out. Chelsea want him out, but it's got to be a right deal because obviously they bought him for a lot of money.
So I think it's Italy. It sounds like he's going to end up in.
Yeah, he definitely wants to go to Italy. He wants to stay at Inter Milan, but rumors are AC Milan, Juventus, and someone else are bidding on him. We'll see if that happens there. We are in the final minute of the game, USA versus Canada, boys, just an FYI.
So absorb this one, Brooks, for a second, because we talked about transfer fees earlier on, right? So absorb this just for a second. Here's a fun fact for you. Chelsea paid 113 million euros to Inter for Lukaku in 2021
To get him back.
to get him back. And now Inter are going to get him back for about 35 million euros. What a great piece of business that was.
well done.
Well
done,
done.
Inter
Just
Milan.
well done take advantage of Chelsea.
I
Yeah.
mean, they did it right. And Chelsea this week have sold several players, and last week and this week sold several players off to Saudi Arabia to make all their money back. Here's another one.
Once you're done with the guy, just be done. Like, the marriage needs to end.
The
divorce needs to happen.
Surprisingly, but Lukaku's also come out and said that he will take a pay cut.
To play at Chelsea?
Not to play at Inter.
Say
Oh.
Inter, yeah.
About €1 million a year, he'll take a pay cut to do it.
Oh, man, 1 million euros.
So the problem, Brooks, is that you say cut it off and be a divorce. What it is new managers come in. So Pochettino,
God, they can't think he's that good of a player
Pochettino's
because he's
come
been
in,
so
they
inconsistent.
don't have a goal scorer.
But they don't. They've sent Havertz to Chelsea to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Lukaku's still at Inter.
They don't have
And
a
they-
goal scorer.
No, they haven't bought anybody yet.
They bought the young kid Jackson, who's 23, but bit unproven. They don't have a legitimate goal scorer.
Oh, they got the lad from RB Salzburg, didn't they?
Yes,
Christian Atsu.
Yes.
Christian Atsu.
Yeah.
but not a proven goal
Right.
scorer. Lukaku is a proven goal scorer. And
Is he?
Pochettino says, I want and need a proven goal scorer here. He is absolutely a proven goal scorer. He did it in the Champions League for Inter. He did it in the Serie A for Inter. He's done it for, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, he did score goals for Man United. I mean, not,
He did, yeah.
Consistently.
he
When
did.
him and Zlatan played together.
but he did it, and he can do it in the
I mean, we bought him
Premiership.
from Everton, I think, for close to £85 million,
Yes.
and then sold him to Inter for £79 million.
Yes.
So we didn't lose that much money on him, but he scored goals for us.
Yes. He is a proven goal scorer, and Pochettino needs a proven goal scorer.
Yeah,
Make
but he
that team go.
needs someone to win you games, not just, just saying.
I'm going to throw my shoe at you today. Need someone to what? Guess who wins games? Goal scorers.
Yeah, but
he can do it.
he's not like Zlatan or Giroud, though. I'm sorry.
I mean, different type of player. Different type of player.
No, they're players that can put a team on their back and win games. Lukaku's not that guy. He crumbles under pressure, Craig.
Oh, good Lord, Brooks. You and I are definitely fighting today. Have Nate?
Come on, are you really not?
Have you
really?
embodied Nate's soul today?
No.
What is going on with you?
Come
you
on.
You are uncharacteristically argumentative today.
I know.
I don't
I
understand.
said
But
this
really,
last
I wouldn't spend that much money for him. He's, in my opinion, been an average striker.
What?
You're Chelsea.
Chelsea could.
You're
get him-
Chelsea. You're
get him
Mauricio
back.
Pochettino. You
Chelsea
want a
getting
goal
him for
scorer that's
free.
proven.
Chelsea get him for free. He belongs to Chelsea. Pochettino saying, "Come back to us, play with us. I need to talk to you and get you playing again." And he doesn't want to because he just wants to stay at Inter Milan. So
I don't know.
Lukaku, when he was playing for, I'm just going to give a 15-second synopsis. When he was playing for Manchester United, I considered him a lazy footballer.
Yep.
yeah.
Very, very lazy.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't play in a top tier team like a Chelsea or a Man United or an Arsenal, Tottenham, by being a lazy forward.
Yep.
You just can't.
Right. No, I agree.
He's
I
pretty
agree.
lazy in that Champions League.
That goes back
honest
to the
with you.
Italian league being lazy. I think it's slow and lazy.
He's slow and lazy, and that's why he fits in there. But here's the problem.
But he was always the top guy for Belgium. He was going to take him places, and he didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
He's had this thing on his back
here's
where
the
he's been,
problem.
and I love his story. I love his story about his father, he's overcome a lot of adversity. I love it. But he's just never really been, I would consider, a top tier
here's
European
the problem,
striker.
though. Chelsea don't have a striker. They don't have anybody. Literally, the people they've bought this summer, the two players, are unproven in the Premiership.
Well, then go
You've
after
got a
the guy at Napoli that everyone wants. That man.
Now you're going to have to pay an extra 100 and some odd million.
Todd Bowley has the
Lukaku
money.
is already your property.
Todd
So,
Butthole has the money.
the other interesting rumor that came out today about Pochettino was he wants to talk to Dele Alli.
Yes, I saw that.
That's interesting.
Why?
I think he's the only
thinks he
manager that
can-
can get through to.
He thinks he can still get the best out of Dele Alli, and he says he's a good footballer. I think I can get to him. I can get him to play well. His life has gone off the rails a little bit. I would like to help him.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Dele Alli looked like a freaking stud of a player at Tottenham for a couple of years while Pochettino was there. If he
Yep.
can do that again, good for him.
Where's he now?
Nowhere. He was in the Turkish league, and
was
they
in
dumped
the
him.
Turkish league,
Oh.
Fenerbahce or something
Yeah, and they
like that.
dumped him.
I don't know if
said,
I
"We don't
want
wanna
him to
put up
come
with
out to MLS.
You don't.
I
'cause
don't.
He would take advantage.
think
of the
he'd-
Another
situation.
and
I think he'd really just destroy a locker
yeah,
room, to be
again.
honest with you.
good produce moments.
Yes.
He produced moments of really good performances and really good magical moments, just like Lukaku. But again, another
Never worked
terrible,
hard.
very, very, very
Work
lazy
ethic
player.
was terrible.
Lazy, for sure. All right, boys, listen, we are going to take a quick 2-minute break here. We are going to come back. We got a lot to talk to. We're going to show you the NWSL table, the MLS table. We're going to talk more transfer rumors. We're going to finish up the USA-Canada game here, which has now ended 1-1 and is going into extra time. We'll keep an eye on that for you. But for now, get a beer, get some peanuts, and we'll be right back.
tempo, yes, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch, play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Get side on touch. Play, see it, yes.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just gonna do some light shopping. Okay. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Ugh.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Appreciate you joining us. We are Canada 1, USA 1. We are in the 93rd minute of the Gold Cup quarterfinal game. We will keep an eye on that for you and keep letting you know there. Coming up this half of the show, we are talking a fresh bid for Harry Kane. We're going to show you the MLS standings, NWSL standings. We'll talk Women's World Cup for a couple of minutes. Megan Rapinoe has called it a career after the World Cup for her after this year. And then five Premiership players together at a concert, and an interesting picture that's kind of fun. And by the way, England won the U21 Euros for the first time in 39 years. We'll talk about that shortly. We did have it's become a trend. I don't get it. I really do not get it. People are claiming to be my cousin. People think they are related to me. I know our show is getting popular. I know it's getting big. Listen, guys, I do not have this many family members. People keep sending in these videos. It's bizarre to me. I'm going to show you this one, and I apologize now, but it's about a minute and a half long. This guy doesn't even look like me. It's nothing like me, and he's claiming to be my cousin. We'll be right back after you see this video from Freddie something or another. So here you go.
Soccer is the champions of YouTube! Mate, I'm going radio gaga over your shows. They're brilliant! My uncle told me you and I are third cousins. Crazy! I'm Frankie McEhern from Blackpool. Buddy, on your show, you've got a young man, a hard man, an Englishman, and you. Before you and your boys get too big, somebody better put you back into your place! Because you are the champions, my friend. Keep going with what you're doing. It's fun to watch. Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening now. Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia. I've got to go and watch the new We Are Soccer show tonight. Yeah, because it's going to be a good one. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go.
Hilarious.
All right, I don't know who the hell that guy thought he was or whatever. He is not related to me in any way whatsoever. Doesn't even look like me. Crazy. Guys, you can send in these videos all you want. It's bizarre to me. Bizarre. Family members all over the world, apparently.
I'm surprised no one's sending videos of, like, cousins for me or Nate or Danny,
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys' family isn't as big as mine. I know in the, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I had uncles and cousins all over the place that were doing things, I guess. So it's coming to fruition here, and people are coming all over. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Listen, lots to get to. One piece I do want to get to, rumors, transfers, and news, and all that good stuff. Harry Kane. We know Tottenham want to hang on to him. They've got a new coach, Ange Postecoglou. He wants to hang on to Harry Kane. Daniel Levy wants to hang on to Harry Kane. Harry Kane has 1 year left on his contract. Bayern Munich have come in with a bid of 70 million euros. That was rebuffed very quickly by Daniel Levy. Bayern are back. Bayern Munich have come back for a second bid. This one is reported to be 80 million with add-ons. Rumor has it, I do not know the sources if they're reliable, but some loose rumors are saying that Harry Kane has actually agreed terms with Bayern Munich, and now the fee has to be worked out between Tottenham and Bayern. I do not know if that is true. I still think, listen, I called Harry Kane to Bayern Munich about 5-6 months ago. I don't think this happens actually anymore. I think he ends up staying. I think he stays at Tottenham, and I think he signs a new contract at Tottenham. I don't know. Danny,
No.
Your thoughts?
Definitely doesn't go to Bayern.
No.
He definitely doesn't go to Bayern. The rumor is he's building a new house in London with his wife, and I think he's just had his 4th kid now.
Yep.
So he's buying a new house. So I don't think he goes to Bayern. I'm going to stand by my original statement. I think it's become a trend, and I think obviously you've got the Pogba situation that did it twice to us, De Gea this year. Mbappe's doing it for PSG and running down contracts. I think the same thing will happen to Harry Kane. I think he'll stay this year, bang in a few goals, get as close as he can to achieving that target, and then he'll leave on a free to another Premier League club next summer. I'm going to stand by that, but I don't see him in Germany now.
No, I agree. I did at first, but after hearing everything, I don't think he leaves. I think you're right. He'll probably stay for the year, run down his contract, or maybe sign a new one because he's very devoted to that club. And he has never really come out and said anything bad against them, except for a couple of years ago, said he would like to leave, and then they took him back really quick once he signed that new contract. So I don't know. I think I could see him just not really worrying about winning trophies, to be honest. I think I can see him just plodding along, getting that career Premiership goal scoring record, being happy with it, staying in London.
I don't think you'd be happy not winning trophies.
I got a theory.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Is
So
it as bad as the one for the Harry Kane was going to Brighton?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna call this now. Hold on. If this theory has the letter M and the letter L and the letter S in it at any point when those put together, my shoe is getting thrown in. Your theory?
To Chelsea with Pochettino because they need a center forward.
Never gonna happen.
No.
North London to North London, he'd get shot in the street. It's never gonna happen.
Nope. Yeah, that can't happen. There's no way.
That's like saying Haaland's gonna switch now to Man United or De Bruyne is gonna go to Man United. It just doesn't happen.
I don't know.
Nope. Not gonna happen. They
I
definitely.
mean, Lukaku's not really a good center forward, so Harry Kane.
But if that does happen, bro, so we can get it on record now. If that does happen and he does go to Chelsea, I will fly to London. I will bare my arse in Trafalgar Square just for you.
Can you grab me a Harry Kane Chelsea jersey while you're there too?
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
That is quite the theory.
Come
I
on.
thought you were going to go with your MLS theory that everybody ends up at MLS. But
What if they just pay an absurd amount for him from Tottenham?
Chelsea are not
They
going to sell their
throw money away.
Sorry, Tottenham are not going to sell their best player to Chelsea, who are one of the biggest rivals for Champions League spots.
Well, I think Daniel Levy's a moron anyways, right? So,
I don't know if he's a moron, but he's one of the hardest people in the world to bargain with.
okay, fair enough.
Absolutely.
It's an interesting one. It's just like the Mbappe one last year when Real Madrid came in and they were willing to pay 225 million euros for him.
Yep.
And
Or how about
PSG said no.
Tottenham? How about Harry finishes the year at Tottenham and then goes to sign at Chelsea?
I mean, that could happen.
I don't think he goes to Chelsea,
mean,
though.
It could happen. I don't
Just
think
to
he'll.
stick it to Daniel Levy, maybe. But
Correct. I don't think he's
wouldn't
got that much of a beef though. I
wouldn't go to if
Yeah.
you were going to do that, you'd go to Arsenal. That's the dagger in the back of the chest. You go to Arsenal from Tottenham.
Yeah. I mean, but then.
Yeah.
But he's built up this legacy at Tottenham, and all the
I know
fans love
he doesn't
him.
want to disappoint the fans. He's not that type of guy.
He's not
I know.
really not that type of guy, but
I don't know. I leave it on
players
the
have done
table.
stupider things.
Exactly.
Just an update on the game. We're in the 102nd minute, 1-1. The USA look to be pouring the pressure on all over. Multiple corner kicks and multiple balls swung into the box. Here comes another one. They just can't get on the end of it, but this is USA's game to lose, essentially. Cade Cowell, by the way, has come on, and he has looked very good. That kid
Love
can
that kid.
play. He has come on and really is terrorizing the Canadian defense. Canada looks tired. They look like they've spent all their energy getting this game back to 1-1. And as I say that, they're now on a break. Good piece of tackling, good defending there. So anyway.
He just can't score, Cade Cowell.
No, that's something you can add. He can add to his game. He's got what you can't.
He's a wing back in
teach.
Europe. He's not a
You
winger.
can't. You can't teach speed, and he's got it. All right, so this is pretty interesting. I saw. This caught a little bit of clickbait, but it was actually true. Marcus Rashford, Virgil van Dijk, Kevin De Bruyne, and Nathan Ake are all hanging out at a Calvin Harris concert.
Ah,
I mean,
well, they like the
Vegas,
EDM.
right?
They like the
no,
EDM
I
over
don't
there
think
in
it
Europe.
was in Vegas.
No.
I don't think it was in Vegas. I don't know where it was, but I was like, well, you can say that, and then sure enough, there was Calvin Harris's Instagram, and he had a picture of himself with all of them together, and Virgil van Dijk and Marcus Rashford have their arms around each other. So I was like,
Wow.
this
That doesn't happen very often.
no, and that didn't happen 20 or 30 years ago with footballers, did it? No, they would have been not.
I think
happy.
if Roy Keane sees that picture, he's probably gonna, he'll go off his head.
Oh yes,
He will.
If Roy Keane was there, he probably would have punched him.
Probably, yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So that was interesting, but it looks like the USA came very close again.
Yeah.
As I look down, what a save by the Canadian goalkeeper.
MLS table.
Why don't we do that? We do have one or two other things I do want to put up there. But that was, why don't we go to MLS, then we do WSL, and then let's get a couple other pieces. All right, Brooks, it's your time to shine here, my friend, and hopefully, you know what? I might throw some arguments your way just to come back at you. All
fair.
right, here we go. Why don't we start with the West? St. Louis
Yeah.
Still at the top
rolling.
of the table, 3 points ahead. LAFC still have a game in hand. They're 3 points back as well, but goal difference was what would keep that from changing. So St. Louis 1, LAFC 2, Seattle Sounders 3, Real Salt Lake 4, FC Dallas 5.
Yeah.
And down at the bottom, Colorado Rapids, then the LA Galaxy, then the Portland Timbers.
You know what's funny? Is that LA Galaxy beat LAFC and they beat Philadelphia Union this week, and they're still in the second.
I know, but they're slowly.
They were
making their
good
way up.
wins, though.
They were really good wins.
Oh, man, we'll see what happens in the second half of the year. It'll be interesting to see if they can turn it around. Portland's not been very good. It's just string of injuries. Santiago Moreno wants to leave. Their young designated player they picked up from South America.
Why does he want to leave? Does he not like the weather?
No, I think it's a little bit of maybe a beef with Gio Savarese, the head coach. He actually wanted to leave last transfer window.
Maybe he just doesn't like the weather, Brooks.
That could be it. I don't know. Is
Is
that being argumentative?
it rains a lot up there.
It does. It does rain a lot. It does.
We are, just give me a second here. We are at halftime of extra time, still with 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue on.
Sorry, yes. The surprising one, I guess, is Minnesota United, sitting there in 11th place with all the money they spend on players.
Expecting
that's not
a way better year from them this year.
Yes.
Down 11th and a -4 goal difference.
Good old
Come on,
Everton.
Minnesota.
Good old Adrian Heath of Everton that likes to drink his wine and soiree and all that.
So talk us through the St. Louis City, because they went to Toronto this weekend, right? And won 1-0. It's a difficult place to go. Talk us through that and how they're still top of the league.
Yeah, I mean, listen, TFC. Is going through changes right now too. I mean, you've got a lot. You fired Bob Bradley, who was your sporting director, head coach. So, I'm sure the locker room's probably a little more on ease just because he was having beef with the Italian players. But that team, they've just kind of reconstructed, to be honest with you. It was like, they brought in a veteran with Matt Hedges, and, I thought that would be a good one to help the back line. He's had injuries. I don't think, and there's rumors that Insigne might go to Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabian clubs are looking at bringing him over.
Oh, they could get him cheap. They get him on the cheap.
It was like $30 million or $20 million or something, whatever.
Yeah,
and I think I was Toronto. I think I'd take the deal and I go do something else.
Be rid of him.
Yeah.
And it was a nice little fun experiment. It has not worked. Be rid of him and take the money and run.
Yeah. No Sean Johnson, because as we know, he's sitting on the bench for the U.S. men's national team, and I think that's
Actually,
a big difference.
He just got off the bench and was handing out water bottles to the players.
There you go. Good job, Craig. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, listen, St. Louis City has exceeded expectations, and they didn't go break the bank for players. I think they've stayed within limits. Roman Berkey being one of the highest players, but they built from the back with the goalkeeper, which I think was extremely important. Unfortunately, Klaus, who they bought coming from the Bundesliga, has been injured, but players have stepped up. The other international guys they've signed, some of the domestic players. And actually what's really intriguing with this St. Louis City team is a lot of the players that were on the reserve team last year, because they only had St. Louis City 2 last year that were playing MLS Next Pro, have actually stepped in and done pretty well. Kyle Hybert, who was with Missouri State, Canadian player, playing on the left back. Jake Nerwinski, who came over from Vancouver, has stepped in and done well for them. Tim Parker, who they got from the Houston Dynamo, who has stepped in and done very well. And Peter Strauss, who's done, not Peter Stroud, Jared Stroud, has done really well. Kid that played at Colgate and he played at Austin.
That fan base is absolutely terrific.
Yes, it is a very good fan base, but they have made do with what they've had right now, and I think they've done exceptionally well. Now, obviously, the second half of the season is where some teams come alive, and you need to stay on your toes. But sitting at first place in the Western Conference ahead of the Seattle Sounders, who have been really known to make a lot of runs in the playoffs the past 5-6 years, it's been terrific. So,
let's put up that East table here.
Yeah.
FC Cincinnati still up top, down 2-0.
Yeah. Condolences to on our show, because you played against Pat Noonan. His father passed away, so they had a nice little before the pregame photo with the starting 11. They had a jersey for Pat's dad. So
very nice.
Very classy from FC Cincy there. Cool. Nashville hanging around. Mukhtar's been doing very well. He's scoring goals. I think he's one of the top. He's probably top 2 or top 3 goal scorers in the MLS, so he's been doing well. New England's hanging around there. Columbus doing really well, going into 4th place. So Wilfred Nancy with that team, a lot of domestic guys. They brought in a few key international players. Eloy Room hasn't been playing much. So Patrick Schulte, their GA player they got in the draft a couple years ago from St. Louis University, SLU, who they drafted, played a lot with Crew 2 last year, has stepped up and done well. Landing Knight hanging around Philadelphia, dropping a little bit there. Jeremy Curtin just playing his 300th game he's coached in, so he's done, it's a lot. He's been there for a long time, and he just signed a contract 2026. But Philly, I think, is going through their own things. They just loaned out Brandon Craig to Austin FC, one of their young and upcoming guys that was with the U.S. men's U20s that were playing the World Cup. Predictions that his dad is English and he's American, so predictions that Liverpool are interested in him. So maybe Liverpool is a place that he may end up, or at another EPL club somewhere. I think he is the one from the U20s. Again, I think it's a little bit of a jump. The English Premier League, I think I'd rather him go to the Bundesliga and then transition. I want him to play, but I think he is the one from that U20 World Cup roster that can have an interesting career in Europe. He's very feisty, gets stuck in, good on the ball, very comfortable on the ball. So I think he'll do well. DC United, they drew, I believe, this past to
a lot of draws this past weekend.
There's a lot of draws. DC United, where are they here? Oh,
DC United.
there you go, 2-2 to Miami, and Miami's still sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, which has been a disappointment.
Messi FC, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Don't forget, everybody, his first game is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
In Brooks, you called that. It's that.
Cruz Azul. Oh no.
We got breaking news here. It looks like. Let me put the right camera on. Canada. 109th minute, have gone ahead 2-1. They have scored. Oh boy, the U.S. was just all over them. Nice save from the Canadian goalkeeper on Busio. They whipped the ball in and could have gotten on the end of it, but then they come down and scored. And now Canada looks like they are going to be advancing if things don't trend better for USA.
Yeah. So just
I want to hold on. Give me a quick second here. I want to watch the goal. Nice little turnover, and then Canada break. Oh boy, is that Robinson? Oh, what a bad goal to give up. Oh my God, Jacob Schaufelberg cuts the ball into his left. Oh, took a deflection, went through the defender's leg, hit a deflection. Unfortunate, very unfortunate, but that's why you shoot. Nice goal for Canada there. Matt Turner didn't have a chance. Sorry, continue on there.
Yeah, sorry, just to finish up. Yep. Charlotte dropping into the bottom there of below the playoff line. They've been struggling a little bit of late. Their first round draft pick a couple years ago for number 1 overall pick, Ben Bender, not playing well, and I think they've actually done pretty well when he's been in the lineup, so I'm curious how long he'll be there. The young lad out of the University of Maryland from the Baltimore area.
Draft pick last year, right?
The year before.
The year before, 2 years?
Yes, 2 years ago, yep. NYCFC still struggling a bit. Again, a young team. Probably, I think they field one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team in MLS. They've had a lot of great runs the past couple years, and unfortunately, they sold a lot of their guys. So hopefully, they can turn around a bit. Toronto's struggling, and then Miami struggling even more. And the question is, do Messi and those guys really turn them around this year? I don't think they do. I think
they time left, right? There's not enough time left to get adjusted to the league.
No.
Don't forget, it's Messi, Alba, and Busquets who are a little older.
Yeah.
It might not be enough time this year. Just get your feet wet, get your feet under the ground, get the base, and then Tata can start turning things around for next season with that group.
Yes.
Probably is what the plan is there. Any other rumors on MLS or anything you wanted to chat about there with MLS, bro?
No, I thought the biggest, like I said, the biggest was the loan for Brandon Craig because, he's sitting behind Glesnes and Jack Elliott, and I'm shocked, because Phillies usually play the young players, but I don't understand what Ernst Tanner and, Curtin and those guys are thinking, honestly, in Philly. The kid's done well. He's sitting and playing for the MLS Next Pro team that he's just too good to be playing on. He needs to get some more important minutes. So there's a few guys, honestly, in Philly right now, young guys that need to leave. They need to be transferred away. They need to play in games in USL Championship or for another MLS team. So that was the biggest one. Another big one was one of the DP players, under 22, designated players for Atlanta United, getting dealt to Toronto FC. I believe Atlanta United are going. They exceeded the limit, and they had to get rid of them because then they get fined, kind of like what Miami had a couple years ago.
Cheaters.
Yes. So, or just not paying attention. So
Cheaters. Cheaters. I mean,
so that's the other big
ain't
news.
trying if you're not cheating.
Exactly. So that's the other big news. And then obviously, the one other thing is Pizarro from Inter Miami, LA Galaxy looking at him to fill the center forward role since Chicharito's out for the year. So I think that's a very plausible move. Miami needs to get rid of him to fill space for Messi, Busquets, and Alba. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Is the Suarez thing gone dead now?
I think so. I think Suarez is retiring.
Really?
Yeah, I believe Luis
Yes.
Suarez is officially retired.
Di Maria's not there.
Maria has gone to Atletico Madrid. Was it Benfica?
Yeah.
But he
Benfica.
is definitely not there. So I think the last one is Jordi Alba to be coming in for now.
Yes.
But yes. All right, Brooks, well done. Why don't we quickly put up the NWSL table? We are all big fans of the NWSL. So here we go. North Carolina Cards still sitting up there. They're doing well. Portland Thorns, New Jersey, New York Gotham FC in third. Well, Reign fourth. Washington Spirit, one of our favorite teams with our good friend Chloe Ricketts there at fifth. Chloe started the game yesterday. They were playing in San Diego, I believe.
Yes.
And she started and was subbed out in the 65th minute due to she got picked up a yellow card.
Did you see the pregame match? They walked out with puppies in their arms.
Walked out with puppies?
Yeah, instead of like kids, because it was for I think like a local shelter or something. They were doing some like charity thing for, and all the girls for San Diego walked out with puppies instead of kids when they do the
I don't know how
walkout.
I feel about that, but it sounds cool.
I want a puppy.
I don't want a puppy. No, I'm good. No, thanks. No.
So,
No.
but yes.
But that's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
Angel City picked up their first win after the firing of Freya.
They did, and I think there was actually really good goal scored by one of the San Diego Wave players. I
How
think.
bizarre is it that Angel City, who came into this year with such high expectations with everybody who the celebrities have bought in, they've got 3 wins. They have 3 wins. But
They beat top of the table this weekend. They beat North Carolina Courage this weekend.
I mean, turning things around, but good Lord. 3 wins, 5 draws. Just
I mean,
Yeah,
it took
it's-
FC Cincy a while, and those were
did.
big bank rollers putting stuff
did.
behind. You
Did.
know,
I mean, it's tight really at the top, isn't it? I mean,
Oh.
anybody from the top through 1 through 6 can,
Yeah,
can
1
you
through 6
know
if-
can
Yeah.
can
Casey
into the
Curran with Michelle Cooper and Alexis Spinastra from Michigan not doing so hot either. You know, that was a team when they rolled them out. They were, they're getting their own stadium. That was one, and then
Oh. Hold
Ava-
on. Breaking news.
Ava
Looks
Cook.
like USA have tied it up 2-2.
ooh,
We may be heading to penalties here,
case.
boys.
Ooh.
I always miss the goal. I just I don't know who scored it here, so hold with me here. It looks like the fans are going nutty. We'll see who scored 2-2. It is the 115th minute of extra time. It might have been Busio. Looks like might be your boy Busio, Brooks.
Oh, it was at Venezia.
It was.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know.
Was
All
it a
right.
rocket?
This is Busio fires it. Goalkeeper unorthodox. Kick saves it into his own defender, and then it rebounds over the goalie into the back of the net. Doesn't matter how it goes in, as long as it goes in.
Mm-hmm.
That goal counts the same as a bicycle kick. It's still a goal. What an ugly goal. But there you go, 2-2. Canada look like they are a little bummed, and they should be. So, all right, 2-2. We'll keep an eye on this. What did I say earlier? Like, this game could go to extra time and penalties, and oh my gosh, it'll take our entire show. But there we are. Canada really going at it now, I tell you what. Own goal by Scott Kennedy.
Yes.
Oh boy, bad luck there. All right, one thing I have with the NWSL, I just want to put up the table here again real quick. I don't have a team, I guess. I guess my team would be Washington Spirit due to Chloe Ricketts being there and us being friends with her. I keep tabs on
Are we ready to
them.
talk about teams that do we have a team? We have an NWSL
They're
team.
going to be mine. Yeah, they're going to be mine. Washington Spirit are mine, and I hope you guys jump on that too. But
yeah, mine too.
yeah,
Are you?
we all have that local connection. Where are you going, Brooks? Are you going to go like...
Let's go in Portland.
Yeah.
Well, because but I also like the Gotham FC logo is pretty cool, and the San Diego Wave one is as well.
I got to be honest. I think all of the logos
They
in
are.
this league are
The
good.
NWSL has done a very good job with branding.
I really like them.
And I like I didn't like the Thorns jersey this year, but I've liked in the past a lot of the jerseys that the NWSL teams have done. Like their gear is really nice and it's good, and they're all different. And they're not only one person that makes them. It's like some are Nike, some are right. I think they have a deal where it's not just one league wide company that sponsors everything.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Well, you're gonna go with Portland. Danny and I are gonna go with Washington. Nate's
my team's
just-
higher in the table.
Yeah, congratulations on that one. Nate probably will opt out and say his daughter's team, the U8 3-MLS GA team that his daughter plays for, whoever she plays for.
If Cincinnati had a team, he would do the Cincinnati
This
team.
is true. He probably
Well,
would.
Louisville is pretty close to Cincinnati, so
Yeah, probably not close enough for him.
yeah.
All right. We are actually 5 weeks away from the Premiership. The start of the Premiership season. We're 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
That is blowing my mind, by the way. As Danny reported earlier, oh my gosh, should have been a goal there. As Danny reported earlier, most teams their players are reporting back this week. It's going to be a light week. They get back in, they get their physicals taken. It's medical stuff. It's getting to introduce the new players, the new system. They do some film stuff.
Who's ready for the Wrexham tour in Michigan or in United States?
I mean, a lot of the
Do you know how
lot
much
of the
money they're gonna
Premiership
make from that?
teams-
It's
a
gonna
lot
be
of the Premiership
absurd.
teams
Oh, it's
are-
insane, and it's going straight back into Wrexham.
Exactly, because Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are geniuses.
Simply put, really, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if Wrexham do get up the table.
Yeah.
And do move through those leagues, but
It's like we usually lose money on these tours to America, and it's like Wrexham's like, "What, are you kidding me? We just made $100 million." You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. I mean, they can bring merchandise and sell everything because it's so hard to get.
I would
know?
I would love to. I got to look into this for our next show, guys. Who they have actually bought in the off season here, like
Yeah.
what players they've brought in. I know they brought in re-signed Foster, right?
Yep.
yeah, re-sign Foster for another year. Yeah.
So he's there. That's a great pickup. But who else have they brought in? Because it's not very often a team can go up a division
And not buy
stick with
anyone.
who they have and
Yeah.
then go up again, right?
Right.
It's tough. So it would be interesting for us to look into who they've actually bought.
Mhm.
They have done a very good job. I do want to make everybody aware here in Metro Detroit, Crystal Palace are playing Sevilla.
Comerica.
Yeah,
at
Comerica Park,
Comerica.
yeah.
3 days before that, Crystal Palace. 4 days before that, the Wednesday, excuse me. That game is on the Sunday. So Crystal Palace versus Sevilla Sunday night, Comerica Park, 7:30 kickoff here in Metro Detroit. 4 days before that, the Wednesday, they're playing Milanarios in Chicago. If you're a Crystal Palace fan, if you're a fan of Premiership soccer, head out to Chicago, get here to Detroit, buy tickets to those games. I've got friends who are kind of running those operations, we'll call it. I have, which will drop this week, an interview that we've done with Chris Richards, albeit very quick interview, via phone. He was a very nice kid to talk to, so we'll drop that interview. And he is going to talk about how he is looking forward to playing for Crystal Palace here in the United States and bringing that brand of soccer here. So very interesting conversation there.
I wish we had a legit soccer stadium where those games could be played in somewhere in Michigan.
Yeah.
We just don't. It's just big football stadiums and yeah.
It's unfortunate that it has to be played on a baseball stadium,
Yes.
really.
I saw the PSG match in Roma there like years ago, and it wasn't bad, but it's just it's not the same.
It
No,
really
it's
isn't.
not.
It really is.
I just want a nice stadium somewhere that
I mean, they could have done it inside Ford Field. I'm not sure that they would have filled the capacity. That's probably what they were worried about. But
they did the women's national team friendly years ago at Ford Field, but I don't think the dimensions. It's like kind of like the Vegas.
Big House was
football.
great for
Yeah.
Real Madrid, United, Liverpool. Those games were
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah,
size.
That's
I
a
think
tight
that
field
it's
too,
a very
though.
tight field. So yeah, probably. I think they may have stopped doing that for that reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I went. I think it was it the Roma PSG game? I think I was at that game.
I went to that.
Yeah, I was
in
too.
Comerica Park.
Yeah.
I was at that. I got. Look at me weird here. I know, but I had friends who connected to the Illiches, and they got us row 1 tickets. Phenomenal, but you couldn't see the game. You're literally row 1, looking at all the players. You're like,
Yeah, you're
at
eye-
their
your
waist
level with-
height. You can't see anything. It was fun to be there, but at halftime we were like, all right,
Is that why your cousin's a Roma fan?
no, maybe. Boys, that is the end of the game, end of extra time. We are 2-2 tied. We're heading to penalty kicks. I know who I would want as my goalkeeper, Mr. Matt Turner. I think the USA pulled this one out in 5.
And Rashawn Johnson have been good at stopping.
So this
PKs.
is going to be interesting. We'll go shot by shot as it comes on, as that comes back. So all right, 5 weeks away from the Premiership starting. Teams are reporting back. Manchester United are heading out on tour to the United States. Aston Villa heading out on tour to the United States. Crystal Palace heading out on tour to the United States. Most of the freaking Premiership is heading out on tour to the United States because it's now become the destination where it's close enough and the country is big enough and the country is just wants more. It's insatiable thirst for more Premiership soccer, and the clubs are realizing this. It is a very good thing. Danny, are you following Man United around? Are you going to go watch any of the games, or
I might go to New Jersey and watch them play against Arsenal.
Okay.
I hook up at
Is that at Red Bull Arena?
no MetLife.
Oh, they're wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I might go up there. I've got a contact up there that actually got me WrestleMania tickets about 4 or 5 years ago for me and my kids. So I might go up there and watch that. But I'll be watching the games.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. I'm obviously 5 weeks away from the Premier League season. I'm really looking forward to that first weekend because there's some interesting games. Like really.
man.
5 weeks away.
I've opted to not break down the Premiership schedule the first couple of weeks, but that is something we will do probably a week or two before on the show. We'll break down the games because there's some interesting schedules for teams lined up. There's a lot of people who travel around and follow their teams around the country. I've done it a couple times at Aston Villa. I'm opting to not do that this year. It's just too expensive. I can't afford to fly to Orlando and to Washington.
Well, I think we're all saving our money for the World Cup, right? I mean,
Inflation, Craig, inflation.
Well, yes, but I'm also saving.
Hopefully,
money.
there's no inflation by 2026.
Plus, my wife won't let me.
I'm saving money for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Being here, I think that's
So what? Cincy's closest to us for the World Cup, right? No,
Toronto, right?
is it Toronto? Cincy didn't get one. Toronto is, I think.
Toronto will definitely get one. Atlanta, New York, Chicago opted not to because they didn't want to play it.
Yeah.
Give an empty check to or blank check to FIFA. St. Louis. There's a
There's
couple.
a couple on the West Coast as
couple.
well.
There was more, like we talked about. There was more football stadiums, which obviously you wanted to fill as many people as you can. But
Reliance,
I
one
wish,
of them in Vegas.
yeah,
The Vegas Stadium, Reliance Stadium's one of them.
yeah. I wish there was more soccer stadiums. Unfortunately, they're just not big enough like they are in Europe. You know, they don't seat 40, 50. You know, they just don't.
Right.
Like Wembley does. And it's unfortunate, but because there's a lot of beautiful MLS stadiums that are being built. But what can you do?
Right. I mean, the MLS building stadiums for their current fan base, which is 20 to 25, which is smart.
There's a couple 30, but
There's
not
a
too
couple,
many.
But you can't build that 40, 50, 60 yet because they'll be empty.
Yep.
You know, it is what it is. So we are right now, look like we're about to go to penalties. We're picking sides here. There's a little bit of an argument about who wins who's got first say of the coin toss.
Mm.
Looks like USA won it. Oh my! I love when coin tosses happen and the referee can't speak the language. Matt Turner looks like he's just turned around and go, "We won the coin toss and I didn't get what we wanted."
One thing in our chat here, Mark Zathi
Hey, Mark,
chimed in.
good to see you, buddy.
Casey Current also have Mallory Weber, who
Oh yeah.
yes, played for
Yeah.
Northville Rush, I believe.
Yes.
And I think she went to Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
Yeah, Penn State player.
There's
She played for Thorns for a little while.
Few players connected to Michigan who have gotten into
lot of
that.
female.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Courtney Peterson, I think she still plays for Orlando Pride, if I'm not mistaken,
Maggie-
or maybe Houston.
Maggie Pogark.
Maggie
up at-
Pogark.
Maggie
Yeah,
Pogar
she's
plays
in
out in Portland.
Poe, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't Zoe Morse play out for Brighton in England?
Zoe Morris is in Bright. Yeah,
Yeah, she's a
transferred to the
Lansing.
Premier League.
Yeah.
You know,
One thing we haven't opted to talk about yet today, looks like we're about a minute away from the start of the penalty kicks here yet. Danny, England, the U21
yes,
Three Lions.
boys
got
did
it
really
done.
well. Did really well.
Yes.
6 games, no goals conceded. Absolutely phenomenal. England are going to win the World Cup very soon.
Because the 21s won.
This one came home, and they're going to go on in the next World Cup,
impre-
which
look,
is
the whole-
Well, Ukraine won the U20 World Cup,
cares
and
about
look what
Ukraine?
they done. Whoa, Craig. They're
whole
they're going through some political stuff right now. That's a little
The
farther.
whole structure of the English national setup has changed since Gareth Southgate. That's one of the biggest props that I'll give him. There's been more focus and attention placed on our youth teams, and you know, I think over recent years, I think the under-17s won the World Cup a couple of years ago. You
Yes,
know,
they
Phil
did.
Foden
20
won with
they
the
did.
20s.
yeah, the
He was
20s.
named like the MVP of the
U20s,
U20 World Cup.
U17s, now the U21s
Now
have
the
all
U20
done very
yeah.
well in the last couple of years, and it's
Yeah.
only going to bode well for the national team. I mean, when you think about it, we still have a very
The
young national team.
goalkeeper, James Trafford. He's going to Man City. He's going from Man City to Burnley for 15 million.
With the last name Trafford?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. He was the
You think he'd
goalkeeper
go to
that made the penalty save in the game yesterday.
I think
Yeah.
he'd be with
Double
the
penalty save, right? Saves a penalty, then saves a rebound.
I think he'd be with the
in
Manchester
last
team in the
minute
red.
of the game to preserve the win. Looks like Canada are shooting first. Matt Turner lines up in goal here. Hold with us here, guys. We'll see how this goes. The referee's forcing all the both teams to get back on the line. It's going to be interesting to see if we have any young players like Dwan Jones take a penalty here, right? I mean, we've got a lot of young
Love
players.
to see it.
Wouldn't that be fun to
Love
watch?
to see it. Yeah.
I guess it's going to be Vasquez, probably Ferrera's off, obviously.
No, I think Ferreira was on.
Oh, did he stay on?
I think he
Okay,
stayed
so
on.
Ferrera's probably going to take one. I'm sure Bucio's going to take one. Is Mihailovic still on?
I don't think he's still on. I think he was
Okay.
off. Yeah, I have to check.
My
the
boy,
line.
Jackson
my boy,
Yule.
Cade Cowell's going to win it.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh
Fifth
my.
penalty.
Oh my.
He ain't
Can't
the,
have
fi-
him
He
take
ain't the
the
fifth
penalty.
one,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
for sure.
All right, Danny. This does bring up an interesting question. Where do you put your best penalty kick taker? In what spot?
3.
3. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All
I
right.
go 4. Usually gets it a 4th, and if you get past that, you have your second. I put my second best penalty kick taker first. All right, hold on. We're gonna watch this. Matt Turner's in goal, bouncing up and down on the line. Here we go. Short run up. Oh, right down the middle, and Turner stood there and blocked it with one hand. He was about to dive, and then he stood there and blocked it down. And now he's giving the stare down, like, how
Bombed it.
dare you do that? Right down the middle, and Matt
took
Turner
that
with
for
a great
Canada?
save.
Osorio?
I don't know who that was. Sorry, I can't see. I'm reading off a little screen here. What a save. Vasquez up for the first penalty. So you
mate.
put your best penalty kick taker third.
3.
3. Okay. Why?
It's important. It's kind of that one that you can win it or you need to stay in it.
Yep.
You know.
Okay.
So I usually have my forward take the first one.
Okay.
You know, and then whether that best player is the forward,
Yeah.
he or she will take 3.
Yep.
You know, and then you usually takes 1 and 2 is somebody that can just absolutely hit the piss out of the ball.
Yeah.
Put the-
I think
put
it's
the ball over
changed a
again.
lot. People finesse things. They don't really crush it anymore. It's a lot more finessing and placement now.
Well, we'll see what Brandon Vasquez does.
I
as
know
he
my
steps up
goalkeeper is
here.
number 5 all the time. That's for sure.
Oh, good lord.
What? They draw shots at each other all the time. They should
I
easily
agree with that,
convert
but no. Here we go.
Craig, why do you not?
Oh.
He's missed it.
Did he sky it?
Oh,
Saved it.
God.
Who was it,
Looked like
Vasquez?
he was up. Vasquez.
Now Nate's crying.
Nate, you
Nate's
can't
crying.
comment
in a corner.
anymore about Vasquez.
I
Yeah.
mean, he hits this thing. Oh my! It must have gone 10 feet over the bar.
That's pretty
He
bad.
looked like he was aiming for the upper corner and missed by another 10
in his
feet.
home stadium, he skies it. That's not good.
Oh, so we are 0 for 1 on both sides, and oh boy, they look a bit dejected there. So I personally take my second best penalty kick taker and I put him first,
Okay.
and then I take my best penalty kick taker and put him fourth, because more often than not, it looks like for what I've seen, the penalty that you need to absolutely score to stay in it or to win it usually comes down to the fourth penalty kick taker. It just again, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to these things. I think it's just a personal.
I mean, all seriousness
And-
for me,
And Matt Turner makes another save.
nice.
Matt Turner dives to the left to make another save.
And all seriousness for me, I think I just tell the boys, hey, like, you guys got it. Figure it out.
Yeah.
I think at that level, I think they can figure it out. And the guys that are confident will step up early. Will be the guys that will step up early to get the lead and then want to bury it at the end. So
We've
you know?
we've got Cade Cowell stepping up to take
Boy,
the
young man.
second.
he's gonna go for.
We're
he's
0
gonna
for
finesse
3
it.
right now. We're 0 for 3 on penalties between the two teams.
Cade's gonna
so we'll
finesse it.
see if Cade. I'm trying to make sure notifications don't.
He's
come
gonna
through.
curl it to the keeper's left.
He pretty much down the middle with a little to the left.
Oh,
Probably about 5 feet off
Mm.
the ground. So if the
Okay.
goalkeeper had stood there, he would have saved it. But goalkeeper dove hard to his right. Cade Cowell just
and went up. And
right
went
down
up.
the middle, essentially.
What if anyone's gonna
So-
panenka it?
No.
Have the
God,
balls to do that.
If anybody panenkas it, it could end up like Conor Gallagher. You remember that one from
Right.
last summer's tour with Chelsea? Oh my word, that was embarrassing. The goalie just stood there on the line and it fell to his hands like I think it bounced before he even got to the goalie.
Yes.
Embarrassing.
Penalties are such an interesting thing. I remember a couple of years ago when our Brother Rice boys were playing in the state semifinal against the Wit up in Fenton, and we went to penalties, and the boys came in, and we actually went all the way to 8.
Jeez.
8.
Like
all-
the Jags MLS next team went really deep in
Yeah,
the
they
first
did.
round. I watched that one. I was like, holy smokes, this went like 10.
and all I said to the boys was, like, just pick your spot early on your walk,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and don't change it.
Yep.
You know, and just be confident in that.
Don't
'cause if
think
you change
about
it
it
on your run
twice.
up or
Yeah.
anything like that, you're gonna cause red problems. So
We're 1-1. Canada did just score there, so we're 1-1. Looks like Busio's taking the third kick for it is
Busio. Was he
Busio.
Gary Busey's cousin or something?
Busio. Well, I'm saying it right. Busio.
Busio.
Busio. Same thing. He is taking the third kick for the USA here. Let's see if he can. Ooh, he
we
placed
staying
it.
on through
He
this
put
whole
that
thing?
upper 90 where the spiders live.
Yeah.
Well done. What a kick. All right, boys. Best penalty kick taker you've ever seen. It doesn't have to be like kids, like you, pro player who obviously you may never seen him in person, but
Gosh,
best
who
penalty
never
kick taker you've
misses?
ever seen, because one sticks out for me, bar none. I'll give you mine. Alan Shearer, probably.
Shearer was good. I think mine would be Harry Kane. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty consistent.
Minus
from-
the World Cup France one, which I'm.
Yeah, no, he's
bummed
he's
about.
pretty consistent. I mean,
He is very
he
consistent.
he generally goes to the keeper's bottom right hand corner, and he's very, very accurate with it.
Ooh, that they scored. So it's 2-1 United. 2-2.
Lewandowski was pretty consistent. I mean, he's always been one that
Yeah.
scored a lot of PKs.
Lewandowski's a good one. Normally you're going to find those strikers, right? That Alan Shearer, the Harry Kane, the Lewandowski. Those are the guys who practice and can put it away. Yeah, 2-2 on penalties right now. We'll see who steps up for the fourth penalty kick for United States. Jesus Ferreira, fourth.
He's gonna finesse it into a corner.
Fourth. I think they went with my strategy on this one. Best penalty kick taker, probably Ferreira is fourth. Second best, Vasquez, first.
Yeah, but is he really your second best if you skied it 20 feet?
I mean,
No.
he missed. Oh, yeah, the goalie almost got his hand on that, but he got it in there, side net.
Yep.
Well done. And then he gives a big smile. Well done, Jesus Ferreira. One penalty kick left apiece here. If Canada miss this next one or it's saved, USA advance to the semifinals. Very nice penalty kick. Side foot. Looks like he just picked his spot as he was walking up and placed it very nice and
Ooh,
firm.
who's number 5?
It's going to be interesting. Who could be number 5? Who would be? You've used your
Go on,
You've-
Dewan.
what?
I don't
Go on,
think it's.
Dewan
Oh,
Jones.
if it's Dewan Jones, oh my
I
word.
don't think it's him.
I think is this Larea stepping up for Canada? Can't see.
Oh, Richie Larea, the right
Yeah.
back, number 22.
No, it's not. Excuse me, it's not. I can't.
Mm.
I don't know this kid's name. Young kid though, number 19, last penalty kick taker for Canada. Oh, he hit the crossbar and it bounced down and out, and I don't think it went in.
So the USA win.
USA advance.
Oh,
yeah.
USA advances
Ooh.
to the Panama game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who beat Qatar?
Setting up a finale with Mexico.
Yep, that's where it's gonna end.
They gotta get past the winner. Did Jamaica win today?
Jamaica won, yeah.
I mean, listen, Jamaica is not an easy team, as we've talked about. So
Yeah, but they don't have their studs just like USA don't. These are B squads, if we're being very honest, right?
Yes.
So that's the end of that. All right, boys. Looks like we've run down everything we can today. I want to say a big thank you to our partners and sponsors for the show. Big thank you to Soccer World. For all your soccer gear needs, visit soccerworld.net. They've got everything. Trust me. They got the new jerseys that are popping up right now. If you want that new Inter Miami Messi jersey, hit Soccer World. They've got it. If you want that new Christian Pulisic Puma AC Milan jersey, they got it. Soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. Big thank you to Next Level Training, Aaron Bird, Scotty Wright, Renato, Dylan, the boys out there at Next Level Training. Very much appreciate everything you do. Listen, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I know you are, because I threw a ball to Brooks the other day and he stopped it first time. The ball only rolled like 4 feet away from him. Last year, it would have been like at the other end of the park. So trust me, he's been going Wednesday nights and training at Next Level Training. If they can help Brooks, they can help anybody. I'm pretty sure they could train Stevie Wonder. Get out to Next Level Training.
yeah, this is me for arguing with him earlier.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Why doesn't Nate get this? He argues with you much more.
You know.
Didn't you say he needs work a
Get
little
out
bit?
to next level training. If you're looking for a camp this summer for your kid, it's not too late. There's a nice camp coming, a great camp coming up at Wixom 2 weeks from this Monday. 1 week from this Monday. My kids will be attending that one. Thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Boys at the bar there at the pub, appreciate it. Love this beer, by the way. They got some good ones. Get down to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Friday, July 21st, 9 p.m. is USA versus Vietnam in the U.S. Women's, the Women's World Cup. The U.S. women are playing. We will be there. Come down and join us. I believe there's a band playing at 8 o'clock. Come and join us. We're going to get there early. We're going to listen to the band. We're going to drink beer. Then we're going to watch USA play Vietnam in the first game of the Women's World Cup. Get there. Thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Appreciate all the support there. If you haven't already, go out and check out the videos we do for the Michigan Jags, Michigan Jag Weekly. Some fun videos we do. We get to talk to some of their players, to talk to some of their coaches. It is fun. Visit them. Thank you to all our partners and sponsors. Thank you, everybody watching and for commenting along. We very much appreciate it. Danny, Brooks, you boys are the best. Thank you for being here tonight and having some fun with us.
Yep, no
Yes,
problem.
always.
Always.
All right, and please, no more videos from cousins. People pretending to be my cousin. This Freddie Mackey. No, please, no more videos. And for that, we're out.